There we go. All right, this is our Week 8 fantasy football ad drop show. We're doing a Week 8 onward fantasy football draft as well, taking all questions as usual, and we're going to hear some stories, I'm sure. Before we get into everything, please hit like, subscribe, comment below, share this video, visit the link in the description for the merch store. As always, something for the merch store. It is the Watson and Tucker Massage Parlor t-shirt. Get your happy ending today. So you can get that as well as everything else at the merch store. We have a 20% off sale right now. You could change the colors of the shirts and get long sleeve, hoodie, women's tank top, infant onesie. You can get everything. You can go to Amazon, buy my books. The most recent one is Jerks of the College Years, where I made fun of people, and a safety and a field goal, which is my first book, which is a top 5 list of football topics, mostly serious, but some fun stuff. And please consider super chats and super stickers. It's the best way to support the show. It really is. Like, I can't say that enough. Like, you guys are so helpful with that. These YouTube ads pay nothing, especially like in the beginning of a quarter like this. Well, I mean, we're kind of a little bit past the beginning, but still, we're not going to get like the good advertising until like mid-November or something. So if you guys help us out once again, we'll be so grateful. So thank you so much, guys, for helping us in the past. All right, we are joined by Kenny from thecapIsFake.com. Kenny's back from his 2-week hiatus, and he has some stories to tell us before we get into everything. So, Kenny, how's it going on?
Well, I'm here. I'm excited. I'm drinking an old fashioned. Made my own old fashioned mix because it's been that kind of week. So I was not intending to be gone for 2 weeks. That was not the original plan. Walter, I have a question for you.
Okay.
We're the same age. We're 43 years old, right?
Yes.
What was the age you last shitted in your own pants?
Actually, like a year ago, probably.
Wow, really?
Yeah. You know what? I was really sick, and I took Dayquil, and let's just say that I did not know that Dayquil has these side effects. So I was driving for my son.
Dayquil has poop side effects?
What? It does. I had not realized this. It does. And I was driving my son back from his Montessori school back home, and we're stuck in traffic. And man, it was not. I could not hold it. I had to go. And there was nowhere to stop. I was in traffic. There's like literally nowhere to stop. I could have just parked my car and just ran into the bushes, but then my son would have been in the car by himself, and I would have held up traffic. So I just let it go, man. Just had to let it go. So now I was like why? What happened there? And actually, I looked up the side effects of Dayquil, and actually it does cause this sort of thing. So now I know.
Wow, that is remarkable. I did not know that was a thing.
Yeah.
Well, okay, that kind of kills my story. Gotta be honest.
I'm sorry. Well, before that, it was probably like 4. So
right. I thought you were going to be like, 4 years old, 5 years old. Well,
right.
For me, it had been almost 39 years since I pooped my pants. Until last week. Here I am being vulnerable because I'm a man of the people. I want to share this with the people. I literally crapped my pants.
Yeah. The Poop Brothers here. Nice.
You never remember which reason why you're not on this thing. Thank you, Cassandra. Okay, so we were at work conference, we were traveling, and so I was originally I was going to try to record from the road, staying in a hotel. I had a work trip, and I figured I'd take my family with me in our minivan. My wife doesn't work. I can work remotely. So I figured, okay, like we're traveling, we'll just do like a family road trip, 11-day family road trip, 4,000 miles in the minivan with 3 kids, 4 and under. It was great. No, it really was great. But yeah, obviously, anyway, on the way to North Carolina, was our first stop. My son had a total blowout where he diarrheaed out of his underwear, or out of his diaper. My 2-year-old son, diarrhea all over the car seat, all over just awful. You're just like, oh gosh, like, and it's just, you're like, and like nothing you do, like the smell doesn't, like you have to steam clean the stuff. Like you can't just like wipe it down and get rid of it. So it's like, so for a week and a half, we had just a residual poop smell in the whole car. Anyway, so that's number one.
Yeah.
So that was great. Then we're traveling, and we were on the road. We stopped. changing diapers. You have 2 kids in diapers, a 4th kid or 3rd kid who has to go to the potty. Anyway, so we're driving. We're in the middle of nowhere, and all of a sudden, something is. This is somewhere in Ohio, and I don't know. Maybe I was the Burger King. I haven't. By the way, I had Burger King. And I don't like in like a decade. And so I had a Burger King with onion rings. I don't know if it was just the Burger King or the onion rings. My stomach started bubbling, and literally, I just couldn't hold it. I was driving in a minivan, and I thought it was a fart. That's the thing. I thought it was a fart, and I let it out, and it was not a fart. Apparently, farts have lumps, and literally, I'm driving. I went, oh, and my wife was in the passenger seat. She had her headphones in, and I said, "Baby, we have to stop." She's like, "What?" She's like, I just crapped my pants." She's like, "You did what?" Well, 43-year-old man. I literally just anyway. And then fast forward a couple days later, we're in the car, and then I had 2 of the kids were sick. One of them was a projectile vomiting. And so anyway, it was just I could tell you more, but those are the 3 main things. So both my 2-year-old son and myself pooping in the car, and my daughter having projectile vomit in the vehicle. So needless to say, as much as we had a great family time, it was great to be home.
Well, sorry to hear about that, but I can definitely relate to it. So little did you know that we would be the Poop Brothers here on the WalterFootball.com After Dark show. This has been a lovely stream. Yes, it has. So yeah, I wanted to know. It was the road trip from hell, as Kenny was saying, and now we know why. So yeah, that was it. So glad you're back. Hopefully no more pooping escapades.
Most importantly, everywhere I was, every time we stopped somewhere, the Wi-Fi was terrible and I couldn't record. That was the most tragic thing that happened. That I'm at a hotel in the middle of nowhere, and they're like I thought we were in 2025. I thought Wi-Fi was a thing everywhere. Apparently not.
No, apparently not. No, I've been a lot of places. Actually, my son's daycare. I show up there, just nothing. I can't get anything. And it's annoying because I have to wait for, you have to text, say hey, I'm here to pick up Conrad. And they're like, okay, getting him ready. And so I'm sitting there for 5 minutes, usually, sometimes even 10. And it's oh man, I wish I could listen to stuff on YouTube or visit or look at stocks or something. And I can't do anything because they have no Wi-Fi there for some reason. So yeah, I mean, apparently, in 2025, they do not have Wi-Fi everywhere. Which I don't understand how. Anyway, we have a couple of comments here. Drip Saw Killa, 2 running backs, 3 receivers, 1 tight end, 1 flex. Jacobs, Barkley, Henry, Dobbins, Rice, Sutton, AJB, Kraft, Ferguson, probably getting DK McConkey off waivers. Wow, what kind of a league is that? We get McConkey and DK off waivers. It's pretty cool.
5-team league.
I have the only team with Fab left in Guillotine League. Okay, so what is he asking? Only 5 teams left. Yeah. That makes more sense. 5 teams left with $1,000 prize. Everyone else blew through their Fab. So if I win this week, I'll be able to add either Puka or Bijan, Taylor or JSN, Lamb, Mabuka, London, or Chase Gibbs. I mean, that sounds awesome, man. Congratulations. Well, hopefully, congratulations. It sounds like you're in a good spot right now. Twitter's blocked my gym, which is a nightmare early Sunday mornings, trying to get the game line updates. Yeah. Why would it be blocked at the gym? Why would you block Twitter at the gym? It seems silly.
That sounds like some anti-Elon Musk nonsense.
Yeah, that's probably true. Yeah. 12-team guillotine. I guarantee it wasn't blocked before Elon took over. 12-team guillotine. Okay, yeah, that makes more sense now. Now we get it now. Okay. So let me load up the best ball of the week 8 onward. Best ball, which I keep saying now, anyone who doesn't have a week 5, 6, or 7 bye basically has a 1-game suspension, kind of treating it that way. Mm-hmm. And it's only a 7-week league, so it's really 2 weeks if you kind of extrapolate how important each week is. I guess I'm guessing blocked for the employees, so they actually work. No idea. Well, you should ask the employees if it was blocked before Elon. Oh, that was a while ago, so maybe you won't get the answer for that. Okay. It's very important that I get through the week. It should be smooth sailing. We all get 1,000 Fab. For example, one guy spent 1,000 on Ashton Genty after the first week. Well, that didn't work out, except for that Bears game. He hasn't done well at all.
But I understand. Like I get the impulse. Yeah.
Yeah, I get it. I don't think it's a bad move. Didn't work out, but still. Okay.
The guillotine league I'm in, the players, I guess that becomes that's a thing now. I never heard of that, where the players of the eliminated teams become available. I'm in a guillotine survivor league. I got knocked out after week 5, and that was not like my players are not available. Like, so anyway, that was interesting. I didn't realize that was a format.
Yeah, no, it sounds cool. I've never done it, but that sounds awesome. So I relied heavily in rankings all year. Thank you very much. Well, you're welcome. I hope you take down the whole thing. That would be awesome. Okay, so let's get to the games, and we'll check in from time to time on this best ball. Let's see, there's 2 entries. Now there's 4, so we should load in a few minutes. So we had last Thursday, we had Bengals 33, Steelers 31. Joe Flacco's coming out party, unbelievable. First quarter was bad, and then he was on fire after that. He couldn't be stopped. Chase Brown for 108. Jamar Chase, unstoppable once again. 16 catches. We actually had Andre Yoshivas over 1.5 catches. That worked out, even though he dropped the pass. For the Steelers, Fryermuth won someone a solo ship on Showdown. Fryermuth captain randomly, even though he had done nothing all year. He went crazy. Metcalf 3 for 50, kind of disappointing, but it was all about the tight ends. Bengals really bad against tight ends. Our boy Jalen Warren, great game, 16 for 127, and Aaron Rodgers, he looked good, not as good as Flacco apparently, but looked good. So, any thoughts on this game?
You know, what's crazy is that I have been the biggest Jalen Warren booster his entire career, and he's pretty much having the best season of his career. And I don't own him in a single league. Like this is the first, literally, this is like the first time in his career I don't own him at all. I don't think I own him in a single league, and he's having sick. I'm happy for him. It's great, but I don't know for whatever reason. I don't know the reason why. I don't know why I ended up not owning him at all. Anyway, but yeah, he looked great. The Steelers' offense looked, viable at times, and so I don't think there's a whole lot to learn from this. I think I can't imagine if Fryermuth's ever going to have 5 catches for 110 yards again and 2 touchdowns. Like probably the game of his career is my guess. Yeah. Joe Flacco, oh my goodness. I actually have Joe Flacco in one league. He was on my bench because I wasn't going to start him. I have Trevor Lawrence in that league as well. So maybe I should have started him over Trevor Lawrence. Who knows? I don't know. But never could have imagined that Joe Flacco would have done that. I did win that league anyway, so it doesn't matter. And it turned out, but yeah, I don't think there's a whole, I guess the lesson to learn here on the Bengals side is like these weapons are still good. T. Higgins was dropped. I'm in a 12-team league where he was dropped by someone. And I understand why someone would drop him. But like that turns out to be a mistake, right? Like Chase Brown still looked good. Whether or not this team will still be like productive down their stretch, it's hard to know. But like, I don't know. I wouldn't go out to trade for these guys, but I also wouldn't give them away either. Like if you've got Chase Brown, I think they're fine. So yeah, I don't think there's a whole lot to learn from this game other than like, yeah, the Bengals are still like, these guys are still good. I think people were saying like, oh, I saw some chat on Twitter from people about Chase Brown. Like, no, he's still a good player. It's just a crappy situation. And until Joe Burrow gets back, it's going to remain crappy. But maybe Flacco will right the ship a little bit. Flacco's good enough. I will say this. It was clear Joe Flacco was told, feed the ball to Jamar Chase, because he's throwing the ball to him like in double coverage. He didn't care. You know what? I appreciate that. I appreciate you doing what you told Chase or Flacco. Well done.
Yeah. Unlike Jake Browning, who just wouldn't do that for some reason. Yeah. I mean, I'm astonished by Flacco here. Like he looked decrepit last year with the Colts, and this year with the Browns, he was a turnover machine. Now it's a small sample size, only 2 games so far. But we'll see if this continues. But I agree with you. I mean, like, you have to hold on to these Bengal guys for sure. You could start them as long as the matchup isn't too tough. Well, Chase, you're starting all the time. To me, like Higgins and Chase Brown, you're starting as long as the matchup's not too tough. Any reason why you didn't get Jalen Warren this year? Did you not like him as much, or just not an opportunity, or what happened?
Yeah, it's a good question. I don't have a good answer. I think where I had him rated. You know what? Actually, what happened was I just didn't know what to do with Caleb Johnson. I didn't know if Caleb. I mean, I feel like I was getting a lot of mixed reviews on Caleb Johnson. I don't own Caleb Johnson at all either. but I was getting a lot of mixed reviews on Johnson. It seemed like some people were saying Johnson was going to be great and he was going to be the starter by midseason. And I had other people saying Caleb Johnson sucks. Don't worry about him. And I didn't know what to believe because again, I've talked about this before. I don't watch college football. I listen to different guys, and it just felt like the guys that I trust were split on Caleb Johnson. Where like coming into the year, like most of the guys I trust were pretty much all like, yeah, we think Trevion Henderson is overrated. So I was like, yeah, I think Henderson's overrated but like the guys I trust were split on Johnson. And so I think that was what I didn't want to invest a bunch of stuff in Warren, a bunch of stock, draft capital in Warren. And then he ended up being second fiddle to Caleb Johnson. And so I think I had him ranked pretty much where he was going ADP wise. It just every time Warren came up, there was always this thing in the back of my mind of like, oh, Caleb Johnson might be good. And I think I ended up passing on him a couple times when I maybe shouldn't have.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, it makes sense. Yeah. It's like, it's like you dating for someone for a while and then you break up with them and then they have like this great success, like when you're not dating them anymore.
Yeah.
It feels like that almost. Kevin Kovac, $10 super chat. Thank you so much, Kevin. Kevin's a great. Last week he gave us like $35 one day, like $25 the next. Like it was awesome. Kevin, thank you so much once again.
Old fashioned up for you, Kevin.
Yes, thank you. I have Pepsi, regular sugar here. So a huge on the 4money parlay, 4money plays in week 6. Worst week of the year for office pick'ems, was leading the pack, but now I'm 3 or 4 behind the leader. I can't bring myself to look. That's sorry to hear that, Kevin, that you fell a little bit behind, but the season's still young. I mean, we're a third of the way through, so I feel like you should be able to have a comeback and stuff. So. I like this week's slate too. So hopefully, you rebound. So, but yeah, anyway, thank you, Kevin. Really appreciate it. Yeah.
By the way, one day we're gonna have to talk about like your love of Pepsi. I don't get it. I'm sorry, man. Pepsi is like just a downgrade of Coke. It's a flatter Coke. I don't get it.
Well, no, it's hold on. It's Pepsi. Here it is. I don't know if you guys could see it, but
it's like the old school design.
Yeah, made with real sugar. This is why I don't care for regular Pepsi, but the one with real sugar, not the high fructose corn syrup garbage.
This one right here is made with real whiskey. See right here, this is the better.
Kenny, I'm trying to be professional here. Not drinking on my show, so thank you. Anyway,
you ever heard the old adage, alcohol is one of the evidences that God loves us and wants us to be happy? Come on.
I actually have I have a no drinking policy during the football season. I would drink like after the season's over, but I don't want to drink during the season because I don't.
Oh, it's interesting. I have a policy to drink extra during the football season. It's funny how you.
Well, I'm trying to win these betting contests, Kenny. I'm actually 22-13 in the super contest.
Oh, well done. This is why I stopped betting. That's why I can drink alcohol. I feel like if I have to pick between the two vices, gambling and alcohol is a far better, more enjoyable vice for me.
Why not both?
Except gambling's dumb because I lose. When it comes to alcohol, I win.
Okay, fair enough. Kenny, I would trade my bankroll for that bourbon. And also, yeah, Cassandra says, for some reason I had in my head Walt had Pat Frymuth on all of his teams. I was sending him congratulation messages. He had to remind me that it was Higbee he had. I felt bad. Yeah. I was confused for a second, Cassandra. You're like, congrats. He's like, oh, finally your Frymuth shares are coming through. I'm like, what Frymuth shares? I had him like five drafts or something. And I was like, oh, Cassandra means Higbee. And I have Higbee in like 60-something% of leagues. Higbee's been for an 18th, 19th round pick. He's been fine. He's like a third tight end. He's getting me 4 to 6 points per week. That's
literally taking him in the 19th and 20th round. Who cares?
That one was fine. It was the Garendo 12th, 13th, 14th round picks that did not pan out because they traded for Robinson. So that didn't pan out. The Shipley 15th round picks did not pan out because he got hurt. And then the Eagles traded for Bigsby. And then one of my other big whiff was there's one more I can't remember. I think I took like Braylon Allen a lot, but he got hurt too. So all my late round guys didn't pan out.
I mean, I got a couple late round guys that turned out okay. I got a lot of Quentin Johnson. He's turned out fine. Pretty decent. I got a lot of Dallas Goddard. He's turned out okay. But my whiff, of course, is Joe Mixon, who I owned in over 40% of my leagues. So
yeah. It's he's still not back yet. We'll see if he ever returns.
I mean, you said it. You said it back in August. You're like, you have a feeling he won't play all year, and I have a feeling that might end up being right.
That's what from I listened to. I can't remember which doctor it was. Listening to like a podcast, like a medical podcast, and the guy was like, based on the injury, I don't think he's going to play this year. So it's like it wasn't me coming up with this from what the doctor said.
I hate the whole like, oh, week 1 he's questionable. Like it's week to week. Meanwhile, it's 4 months later. Like, what do you mean week to week? How do you not know that it's going to be a 4-month injury? How do you think it's week? I don't get it. Anyway, I'm on full tilt right now.
Yeah, I get it. I mean, it's just I think it's a lesson I want to take next year. Just don't chase the injuries, because the injuries are going to find you anyway. It's just like don't go for more injuries, because that's just asking for trouble.
Disaster.
Yeah, lots of football left. I do go against your picks sometimes. I don't know what I was thinking. The Falcons are a mid-organization, and expectations should always match that. Well, I actually like the Falcons a lot this week against the Dolphins. Just fade the Dolphins no matter what. There you go, Kenny. There's some betting advice that you'll be able to make money off of that. Fade the Dolphins, fade the Titans, fade the Saints, fade the Raiders. Who's the other? Fade the Jets. Those 5 teams, and the Ravens if they don't have Lamar Jackson. So yeah, that's just bet against bad teams. You'll do well. I wonder what Kenny thinks of Walter Football's recent crush/love affair on the Chargers. I mean, we lost them two weeks in a row, right? Or was it 3? I don't know. I made some dumb decisions. I actually had a really good week, but I made some dumb decisions where I could have had like one of the best weeks ever if I stuck with my picks. I made like 4 changes or 5 changes on Friday/Sunday based on like injury and weather reports. And every single change I made backfired, like every single one. Like I would have won. I keep track of this on the site. I won $1,160 this week betting. Wow. If I didn't make any changes, I would have won $2,500. Like it just every decision backfired is so brutal. Yeah.
What never backfires?
Well, I don't know. They could fade the Dolphins.
Never backfire.
Fade the Dolphins except for Jim Harbaugh. Yeah, that was just. I mean, they're up 13 in the 4th quarter. I don't regret that pick. But the Chargers have some serious blocking issues, so we'll see if they figure that out. We'll discuss them later too, and we'll see if this draft ever fires. Okay, so let's get to the next game, which is the final London game. Now we're going to have a Germany game and a Spain game in a few weeks, unfortunately, but we get like a 2-week reprieve from this European crap. The Rams beat the Jaguars 35-7. So much for Jacksonville being used to playing overseas. It just didn't really pan out here. Lawrence, this stat line doesn't look like too bad. 23 of 48, 296, 1 touchdown. Like, he was horrible.
Terrible.
It was horrible. This is all garbage time yards. I think the only positive is that Travis Hunter finally did something. 8 for 101 and a touchdown. He did nothing in the first half, but he was part of the garbage time, but like at least he was involved. Brian Thomas got banged up. He left the game. For the Rams, they didn't have Nakua, but it didn't matter. Stafford just threw to Devontae Adams and all the tight ends. Of course, Higbee doesn't catch a touchdown. It's Ferguson and Mumfield. It's just like more tilt here. But what can you do? I wish I would have drafted Freiermuth, I guess. Kyron Williams, I'll say this about the Rams. Like, the Rams look really good, but the one bad thing about them right now is that they are horrible in short yardage. Like 3rd and 1, 4th and 1, they can't pick it up. They can't pick up a yard to save their lives. It doesn't matter who the opponent is. Same thing happened here. Kyron Williams got stuffed at the goal line, and then it didn't matter because Stafford got a touchdown, but it'll matter in the playoffs, I think, unless they figure this out. They have a bye week right now, so maybe they will. So any further thoughts on this game?
Yeah, Trevor Lawrence, by the way, looked terrible. Travis Lawrence, I don't know where he came from. Trevor Lawrence, I think I finally watching this game, I think any little bit of hope that I thought he was ever going to be a legitimate good NFL quarterback, I think finally faded away. I mean, there wasn't much confidence left in my mind he was ever going to be good, but the little bit of the little tiny percentage of me that thought Trevor Lawrence is eventually going to be an elite quarterback. is gone. He looked very pedestrian. I watched this game, and then I watched the Mac Jones or the Niners game not long after that. I think I watched it right after this, and I thought to myself, Mac Jones and Trevor Lawrence looked like the same dude. And then I remembered, oh yeah, Mac Jones played for the Jaguars last year. Oh yeah, and Brian Thomas was actually good with Mac Jones last year.
Yeah.
And I just realized, yeah, Trevor Lawrence sucks. And so all this nonsense of all this nonsense of guys are like, oh, like Trevor Lawrence isn't going to be elite. Like elite at what? Like he's got elite blindness is what he's got. Like, anyway, Travis Etienne, by the way, came back. He's come back to normal the last few weeks. He was great the first few weeks. The last 2-3 weeks, he's looked like the mediocre player that I had known him to be. And the Eagles finally played Tank Bixby, by the way, in this past week. So I wonder if what that'll look like. The Travis Hunter stuff, by the way, Travis. It's kind of very confusing, all these guys. Anyway, the Travis Hunter, it just feels fugazi. Like they feel like they were just feeding him in garbage time. So he's got 14 targets, but I like the game, the way the game script went and the way they were playing. I'm just not confident that that's going to repeat. And so to me, Travis Hunter would be at the top of my list this week of trade away. Like I think he's at this point, like he's still got enough name recognition. You have a huge week here. It was a London game, so maybe people watched it. People were skipping church on Sunday to watch football, a bunch of pagans. And anyway, maybe like people watch this game. And so this would be the kind of game that you could probably trade Travis Hunter. I guess one of my biggest suggestions for this week would be if you have Travis Hunter, shop him. And if you can get 80 cents on the dollar, 70 cents on the dollar, I think I'd take it. I have him in one league and I'm shopping him right now. I actually have a 2-quarterback league. I'm going to have Joe Flacco on my bench and Travis Hunter. I'm basically shopping them as a package. Just if I can get something decent to anyone who's needy. Because I think that would be the lesson I learned from that. Anyway, before I talk about the Rams, any thoughts on what do you think about Hunter and the situation?
Well, actually, I would buy Hunter right now only because he's going into his bye, and generally rookies tend to play better after their bye. So maybe they'll use the week off to kind of figure out where he's going to go, like how he can line up. Like he has issues lining up, like. That I think that stems from him studying the defense and stuff like that,
Yeah.
But like maybe during the bye week they'll figure things out, and then maybe he'll have a good second half. You could be right; like this could be his best game for sure. But I generally like buying rookies after the bye, so I think there's a chance that he has a few more good games after this. But yeah, I have no problem drafting him. We're gonna draft soon, I think, or hopefully. I'd try to get Hunter. I've been drafting him 11th round in a lot of these best balls. I haven't done them. I did one so far this week, but actually two.
11th round is that's a discount. That's 50 cents on the dollar. I mean,
right.
Where he was going this summer, right? I mean, I saw him go as high as
sixth. Yeah,
I saw him go as high as like 4th round in some best ball drafts.
Yeah, he was going 4th round to start like May, June, and then he dropped to like 6th round. Yeah. Actually, in one league I'm in, I got him like 7th or 8th round. I'm actually the highest scoring team in that league. I'm 5-2 in that league, but Hunter's just on my bench right now. He's actually my tiebreaker. In that league, we pick a player to be the tiebreaker guy, and he's always my tiebreaker guy. Like,
oh, nice.
Yeah.
In our league, by the way, this week I tied.
We're tied, tie brothers. Nice.
Brothers and tie brothers. Oh, good. Did Armac and Walt play this week in our league?
Yeah. Armac kicked my butt. So I was lamenting, like when Charbonnet was scoring touchdowns on Monday night. I was like, man, if I played Charbonnet, I may have beaten Armac because I played Henderson instead of Charbonnet. What a disaster that was. The only reason I did that is because the Seahawks coaches said we're going to get Walker more touches, and apparently that wasn't true. At least not at the goal line anyway. So Charbonnet had a great game. I'm like, wait, if I played Charbonnet, would I have beaten Armac? And I looked at, I would not have beaten Armac. It would have been very close. But he still would have beaten me. So Armac, congrats on the win. I was you scored like 115 points. I got like 90 something. So yeah, it's a good game.
I tied 135 to 135. We have ties in our league still.
I don't. What is happening? Like, why do we have ties in our league? I tied earlier this year. You tied now. Like,
I guess a tie is better than a loss. In our league, I'm 5-1-1, and
nice. Good job.
I'm 5-2 in 2 other leagues. So I've got 5 wins in 3 of my 4 leagues. And in 1 league, I'm 2-5. So that's not so great. That league, I've got Saquon Barkley was my first round pick. Brian Thomas was my second round pick. Yeah, that's not good. So
Yeah.
anyway, in that league, it was my only league. I drafted a quarterback early. Lamar Jackson fell to the 4th round in that league, and so I went with Lamar Jackson in the 4th because I was just like, it's just too much value to pass up, and I just kicking myself. This is why you don't draft quarterbacks early, Kenny. Anyway, I broke my first major rule. I broke it, and I deserve it.
You wrote the book on that.
That's why I'm 2-5. It's the football gods getting back at me for being stupid. Anyway, as for the Rams in this game, the Rams are good. You start your Rams. When Puka's back, he'll be fine. I would imagine. Devontae Adams is good. Kyron Williams looked good. Blake Corum, by the way, looks like legitimate. Like he only had 12 carries, which is the same amount of carries Kyron Williams had. Blake Corum is not as good as Kyron Williams, but he's not far behind. The gap is very minimal. If Kyron Williams were to go down, Blake Corum would be a league winner far and away. So if you've got roster space, you're going to start, trying to handcuff players. The suggestion you and I always give to people is don't handcuff your own players. If you can, and it's no big deal, then go for it. But really what you want to do is handcuff other teams' players.
Right.
And so if Kyron Williams were to go down, and I don't own him in any league, so I wouldn't care. Blake Corum would be a league winner. He is a really good player. I've picked him up in two of my 4 leagues, including our league. I've got Blake Corum on my bench just in case. He's a really good player. That would be the lesson that I would take away from that.
Yeah, Blake Corum's one of the several backup running backs who should be owned in every league. Like Tyler Algier is one of them, for example. I don't know if Charbonnet qualifies, but he's in the upper. He's probably
he's got standalone value. I mean, so does Algier.
He and Montgomery probably the 2 best backups because they actually play a lot. But anyway, even the Ray Davis, for example, like if Cook were to go down, Ray Davis would be like the number 1 pickup that week, for example. So
Tank Bigsby would be in that category now. The Eagles finally have turned the page on AJ Dillon. He was finally scratch.
Yeah. What were they doing Dillon for 6 weeks?
I don't know.
I didn't understand that at all. So anyway,
Bigsby's clearly the number 2 guy there now.
Yes, yeah, that definitely changed. Anyway, let's get to the real football games. Bears 26, Saints 14. I don't know if this is a real full game, but the Saints were not competitive at all in this game. Basically, the Bears took the runaway, and then the Saints could do nothing. Kamara only 11 for 28, 3 catches, but only 1 receiving yard. He said he doesn't want to be traded. I still think that might be on the table because why would you keep a 30-year-old running back when you're rebuilding? It doesn't make sense. But yeah, the Saints lost their center, so that was the killer. Kendra Miller tore his ACL. He had been running a lot. In some games, he had more carries than Kamara, but that's no longer going to be the case. So we might see some Devin Neal going forward. For the Bears, Swift, second great game in a row. He's been fantastic lately. Kyle Monangai, one of those backup running backs that should be owned. He had 13 carries. And yeah, he looks good. I think that he should be owned. Caleb Williams, not a great day, but he didn't have to do much. Dunze only 2 for 31, but he led the team in targets, so don't be too discouraged by that. So what do you think about this game?
A couple lessons learned. Spencer Rattler is actually not a absolutely terrible quarterback. He's actually slightly better than absolutely terrible. So somewhere between just terrible and absolutely terrible. He's somewhere in between the two of those. But
somewhat absolutely terrible, not completely absolutely terrible.
He's not absolutely terrible. He's not just he's somewhat terrible. But the reason I say that is the offense, they actually move the ball a little bit. The passing game, they move the ball a little bit in this game. Again, it's a very low bar. I recognize I'm setting a very low bar here.
Yeah,
they're not a good team, but the passing game is not terrible, and so they've got some decent options. the Bears basically were stacking the box in this game. So I think you can look at the rushing numbers and be like, what the heck happened here? The Bears were stacking the box here. The Bears basically said, you're not going to run the ball on us. Spencer Rattler, we dare you to beat us. And Spencer Rattler was actually able to move the ball. It wasn't garbage time. He was able to move the ball a little bit. But he's just not a good NFL quarterback. And so he threw 3 picks. He really should have been 2 more. Should have been 5. I mean, he was just make Spencer Rattler is like, he's like the Dollar General version of Brett Favre. Like the guy that like is like looks really good at times and then throws interceptions, but he's just obviously not as good as Brett Favre and makes the same amount of bad decisions. So all that to say, I think this passing game, like this version of, if teams are going to play the Saints the way the Bears played the Saints, this passing game is actually going to produce some numbers, which is good news if you're an Olave owner. I own Olave in 2 leagues. I own Johnson in 1 league, so that's exciting. If you own those guys, I think Olave is a good flex player, maybe even a wide receiver 3 in some cases, and maybe more than that. With Miller out, imagine Kamara will get the bulk of the carries. Him being traded, I think you're right. Like I think it's definitely a possibility. And so Kamara still looks decent, but if you're going to have 8 or 9 guys in the box every play, like no one's going to be able to get anything against that. So. I don't know. I don't know how defenses are going to play them, so it's hard to say. I have Kamara in 2 of my 4 leagues. He's on my bench because I don't trust him as a starter. With bye weeks and injuries, I'll have to play him at some point, but I have not had to yet. On the Chicago side, Caleb Williams. Trevor Lawrence was. I was talking about him a moment ago. He was drafted in 2021. Is that correct?
Yes.
2021.
Mm-hmm.
It took me 4 seasons to lose all confidence in Trevor Lawrence. Yeah, it took me a season and a half. I have a season and 5 games. I have no confidence. Caleb Williams, I would be willing to bet a lot of money. I'm not a gambler, but if I were, if you were going to put a gun to my head and force me to bet $1, I would bet $1 that Caleb Williams will never make a Pro Bowl and will never lead the Chicago Bears to a playoff win. I don't think he's good. I'm watching this guy play. Everyone told me he was the next Pat Mahomes. This guy's not good. And this passing game is dysfunctional and broken right now. The good thing is the scheme is good and the running game is good. And the offensive line is seemingly overachieving. So, like, the running game seems to be good and will continue to be good. DJ Moore, whom I love right now, is totally unstartable. Odunze at this point is kind of unstartable. Caleb Williams sucks. And I don't care what anyone says. Until he shows me that he's a good player, I'm going to believe he sucks, which means I don't trust this passing game. Bench all your Bears and trade them. If you can get anything for DJ Moore right now, 50 cents on the dollar, I'd take it. Because I have zero confidence that this passing game is going to be any better. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe DJ Moore will be awesome down the stretch. He's one of my favorite players, but Caleb Williams sucks. He is better at painting his nails than he is throwing NFL passes. And that's not what you don't get fantasy points for painting your nails. So this is not a pass. And I am nervous that the running game at some point will get stifled when teams start playing them tighter. Right now the Saints played cover 2, two man under. They played back 2 cover shell, which is what teams play in the NFL now, which is why passing is down across the league. But like once teams figure out this guy sucks, they're going to start playing tight. And I am a little nervous that that's going to impede the running game. But in the meantime, you keep playing Swift, obviously.
The one thing I'll disagree with you on, you said, is that it took you a year and a half to determine Caleb Williams sucks. That's completely wrong, Kenny, because I recall you saying when he was drafted that you didn't like him because he painted his nails. So you were on this way earlier than what you said, Kenny.
I just, I don't watch college football, so I'm at a disadvantage when these guys come in the league. But people tell me how great this guy was going to be. I don't see it, man. Am I wrong? Am I crazy? Have you seen this supposed generational talent that everyone told me we were getting in Caleb Williams?
No, I was never like, I never thought he'd be the next Mahomes. the one trait he has in the Mahomes, sometimes he has these improvisational skills that he does in the pocket. Like he'll move around a little bit and he'll do that, like the underhanded flip that Mahomes does sometimes. Like he'll do that on occasion, but like the processing speed in his brain's just not there. Like he holds onto the ball forever, doesn't see the field like well enough. He is playing better this year than he was last year. He's like releasing the ball a little bit quicker, but it's still not good. It's still not good football. He does not look like a good starting quarterback. Doesn't even look like an average starting quarterback. He looks like not the worst, but like he's like the 25th best quarterback in the league. That's what he looks like to me.
Yeah.
And it's for a number one overall pick. It's not good, and especially not good when you have Jaden Daniels doing what he did last year and Drake May doing what he's doing this year.
Yeah.
It's like those two guys are like way ahead of Caleb Williams right now, and you could argue that Caleb Williams has the best supporting cast of all those three. Like Drake May had nothing to work with last year. At least this year, Stephon Diggs, Kayshon Boutte's taking a step forward. But I don't know. The Boutte stuff might be because of May. And then Jane Daniels, like, yeah, he's never like he had McLaurin last year. He had Debo this year, but never had the two together yet. So, but like Caleb has a Doomsday, DJ Moore. Those two guys are awesome. They drafted Colson Loveland in the first round. Like they have so much, and they spent so much on the offensive line too. Like he has the best supporting cast by far of all those quarterbacks in the class, and just not doing anything with it. Yeah. Imagine it with the worst supporting cast. Like he'd look abysmal. So yeah, I agree. I agree with what you said about him. I don't feel bullish about him at all. Anyway, let's move on to Browns 31, Dolphins 6. This is our big pick of the week. We had Browns -2.5.
Wow, well done.
Fade the Dolphins. I thought this is an easy matchup to diagnose because they had the Dolphins who can't stop the run at all. Like they allowed 206 to Rico Doodle. They allowed 124 to Kamani Vidal. And so I was like, oh, what is Judkins going to do? Actually, Judkins 84 rushing yards was disappointing because his over under was 91, and when he scored his second touchdown, I looked at the live props and like, oh, let me see if I could bet him over. His over under rushing yards at that point was 146, so like he didn't even come close to that, but he still looked good. Like he still had the 3 touchdowns. But it's like the Dolphins were doing whatever it took to like load the box and like make sure he wouldn't because they had no faith in Dylan Gabriel beating them in the wind. Like that's just not going to happen. And yet like the Browns still scored 31. 7 points came on defense, but still they did move the ball pretty well, like relatively speaking for the Browns. And then they didn't have to throw that much, so you can't really look at the passing numbers. Although Fannin 4 for 36, considering that like Gabriel only threw 18 times, is pretty good. No one else did anything. The Dolphins they look so bad. Let's talk about Tua. Let's talk about bad quarterbacks. Tua is right there. He is horrendous. So he got benched at one point. Like McDaniel like pointed the fingers, like get on the bench. Like he looked angry. They put in Quinn Ewers, and Ewers was nearly picked on the first throw. So McDaniel's coaching for his job right now. Like any week he could get fired. So it makes sense that he's going to go with Tua again because as bad as Tua has been, he's still their best opportunity to win a game because Quinn Ewers is just a rookie and he stinks. So Devon Achane's really the only thing here on offense. Jalen Waddle 1 catch, like nothing going on. Hill's out. Darren Waller got hurt in this game. The Dolphins are a complete mess. And again, I'll stress once again, if you want to make money, just fade the Dolphins. There you go. So any further thoughts on this game?
Yeah, the Dolphins suck. I take that back. I think it's Tua that sucks. And there were moments where I thought Tua was really going to be a good quarterback. There were moments in his career where I thought this guy's got something, but I don't know if it's the concussions or others or the situation or the coach. But Tua looks lost. He doesn't know what he's doing. And so I don't think you can trust this team at all. The passing game is totally defunct. I actually started Malik Washington in one league because my receivers were that bad. Just between bye weeks and injuries, it was just a disaster. And so, I started Josh Whittington from the Rams and Washington from Miami as 2 of my 3 receivers to go along with JSN. So, I still won. I actually won. I don't know how I pulled that off, but I won that game. But wow. This passing game is broken. So passing game is totally untrustworthy at this point. You can't start any of these guys. Darren Waller seemed like he could be decent, but even he was mostly on touchdowns and he wasn't running a lot of routes, so that wasn't going to last. And then he's getting injured, so that's probably done. Devon Achane is getting some targets in the passing game, but not enough like last year for him to be even a PPR start. 82 yards seems okay, but it's just like the offense doesn't sustain drives and doesn't get to the red zone. And so, I wouldn't want to be trusting any of these guys. If you have Devon Achane, you're probably stuck with him because I can't imagine anyone's going to want to deal for him at this point. If you could trade Achane for 70 cents on the dollar, I would do it because I could foresee this team getting worse. I could foresee this team just quitting, this team, a bunch of guys with no character. I could see them quitting. If the coach does get fired, I could see them quitting on him. If the coach gets fired, I could imagine that the team just says, okay, let's try to see what we have in some other players. I can just see that second half of the year that the wheels really completely falling off. I mean, I guess you could say the wheels have already fallen off to some extent, but I could see it getting worse. So Devon Achane is a good player, but I think the situation could get even worse for him. So I don't own Achane in any of my leagues, but if I did, I think I'd be shopping him just to see if I can get something before you can get nothing. I think you're 2 weeks away from getting nothing for Achane.
Maybe that's certainly possible. I have Achane in our league, in our league. I think I do. I'm not sure. I think I do. The problem with me is I don't shop. I never trade anything, so I'll ride it out with my guys. Just because I don't know. I just don't have time to do that. Anyway, we have Kendrick Miller after the season, started him in Waller in one league. Of course, those guys both got hurt. How do you draft Loveland over Warren, the Bears? That's on brand for the Bears. Like they drafted Trubisky over Mahomes and Deshaun Watson. They drafted Caleb Williams over Jane Daniels and Drake Bay, and now we have Colson Loveland over Tyler Warren, which is at the time, a lot of people did have Trubisky over Mahomes. To be fair, I love Mahomes. In fact, I wrote that he was the only first round quarterback that I had that year. And then Caleb Williams, Jane Daniels. I actually like Daniels a little bit more. I don't know if I've wrote that down or anything, but I did like him a little bit more. I wasn't like super down on Caleb, but like I preferred Daniels. But even that's like you could debate at the time. But like this one, I never understood because Warren was the number one tight end prospect by far. Like they're not even close. And then Colson Loveland like sneaks in from out of nowhere. I had Loveland in like the 20s for a while until we got word that like he might go higher. I think ultimately I put him at 14 for the Colts. I'm not sure. So I had them like flip flop where they went, I think. But then we got word that like Loveland was moving up, and like, okay, that's kind of weird. And then he went before Warren. I'm like, that makes no sense at all. That was so stupid. And then, like, of course, like when he was drafted, when Loveland was drafted 10th, he had like the usual draft analysts like, oh, this makes a lot of sense. He's a great fit for the Bears. I'm like, this is like, come on, man. Like, it's just you're drafting an inferior prospect once again. It's so stupid. It's the dumb team. Yeah. They always do this stuff. They always do it. So can't be surprised. Just wait till this draft. They'll do it again. Like I don't know what they'll do, but they'll do it again.
They'll find the reason.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, of course. Aiden asking, should I trade DK, Tyler Warren, and Ridley for Achane and McBride? Well, Kenny just said don't trade for Achane, trade him away. Or DK, Warren, BTJ, and Ridley for Pittman, Achane, McBride. All my running backs hurt. So Kenny is saying no, don't trade for Achane. I think Achane will be okay. I mean, he has such explosive ability. Like he can go the distance anytime he touches the ball. Like that can like produce some big games, but they're going to be inconsistent. I got my Debo. I got Debo, my Genti bin Buns, and Omarion out, Benson out. So I'm in a tough spot. Yeah, that's. Unfortunately, it's just too many injuries right now. Hopefully, Genti improves. I don't know if they're going to get Colton Miller back, but once that happens, maybe it'll get better. I'm literally starting RJ Harvey and Krosky Merritt. Merritt's not bad. Harvey, I think maybe later in the year. I mean, Dobbins has such a long injury history, so he could go down any week, and then your Harvey will look a lot better. But I would say try to find a better trade because I mean Kenny's just saying no to HN. So yeah.
I mean, I guess it's not like it could work. I don't know, man. I've watching that Dolphins team and thinking to myself, this is going to fall apart. It's hard for me to hitch my wagon to anything in that offense.
Yeah, I don't blame you. I just think HN's like the one dynamic player they have left. Hill's gone, Waller's hurt. It's just HN, and I don't consider Waddle to be a dynamic player. He's okay. He's good. He's a good number 2, but he's not like a great player by any means.
And two is just lost right now.
Yeah,
I don't know. I don't know if something happened to him. I don't know if it's the concussions. I don't know. I don't know if it's the coach. He's lost right now. He doesn't know how to play the game. It's unbelievable.
It could be a myriad of things like the coaching is bad. Like there's no doubt about that. The offensive line is horrible. They have one of the worst blocking units. I've been saying it all summer. Like this team, they were bad last year and they lost Torin Armstead to retirement. So they can't block at all. And then we saw what concussions did to Carson Wentz. Carson Wentz was an MVP candidate for 2 years in 17 and 19. And then he got hit by Jadeveon Clowney in the playoff game, and he was never the same again. Like these concussions, you can't see it. Like the guy tears his ACL and he's hobbling around. Like Mike Evans, like he hurt his hamstring. He was hobbling around Monday night before he got hurt. Like it was clear he was not healthy. Like that we could see with our own eyes. Like you can't see what concussions do to quarterbacks. And he get dinged in the head that many times. Like it's bound to have negative effects. So I feel like it could be a variety of things. Pyramid scheme, yes. Jalen Waddle, the pyramid scheme. Shout out to Butters, who Butters filled in for 2 weeks. Thank you, Butters, for filling in.
Thank you.
Yeah, a short notice too. I was like, hey, Butters, short notice that shows in a few hours. Can you fill in? He's like, yeah, sure. So Butters is the man. How do you guys feel about Monangai? Do you see a 2-headed monster like Detroit? I like Monangai. I think he's a talented player. I think he's going to have opportunities. Chicago's offensive line is good. And remember, Swift has a long injury history. So he goes down. Monangai is going to be a monster potentially. So I have Monangai. I picked him up last week, actually. So I would recommend getting him.
He's my number 1 waiver ad for this week. He's owned in, I think he's only owned in like 7% of Yahoo leagues and like maybe 12% of ESPN leagues. I thought I saw.
Yeah, it's like a pretty low number.
So yeah, he would be. And if you have any fab left, I think it's worth kind of emptying the bank at this point. If you got any left, you're late. We're pretty late in the season for fab at this point. I think he's probably number one waiver wire ad. Less like Tyler Algier is available, or Bam Knight. Bam Knight's clearly the starter in Arizona at this point.
Yeah, I guess so by default.
I mean, I don't know if that's a good thing.
No, we'll get to that game. All right, so next game is Chiefs 31, Raiders 0. Man, this looks ugly for the Raiders. I talk about bad offensive lines. They can't block at all. They can't block for Genty. They can't block for Geno. Geno's like the only positive is that Geno didn't throw an interception this time, but he didn't really have the ball that much. For a quarterback to be behind 31-0 and only have 16 pass attempts is really remarkable. It just means like it really is. Like he just didn't have the ball. Like it's just like 3 and out every time. Like every time you look, the Chiefs had the ball. It's like crazy. Mahomes Rashee Rice first game looked great. Travis Kelce, his stock has to go down. Like I said it last week, and he did have a big catch. He had a 44-yard catch on the first drive. Of course he did, because we bet his under, but he did nothing otherwise. Kelce and Rice operate in the same part of the field. So when Rice is there, Kelce is not going to do as much. So if you have Kelce, I would trade him. His value is still very high. And remember, he's an older tight end. He could break down as the year goes on. But as long as Rice is there, Kelce's not going to be as productive. Brashard Smith, 5 for 42 catching wise. Interesting. We got word that he was going to be more involved a few weeks ago. Now it's looking like it's coming to fruition. Pacheco actually had a good game. I had to start him in one league because I had a bunch of injuries, including Hampton. So 15-57 and a touchdown. It's like the first encouraging sign we've seen from Pacheco. But Brashard Smith also had 14 carries. Kareem Hunt got banged up in this game. That's why I only had 4 carries. So any thoughts on this game?
I I think that the Raiders suck. I don't think anyone's surprised by that. I think the passing options are not as valuable as we thought.
Yeah.
Ashton Genty is not as valuable as we thought. I think he's probably still a great player, but just the situation is terrible. Geno Smith sucks. Really, like, I just like you can't trade these guys for anything. So if you have them, I guess you're stuck with them. I just hope you don't have them. I guess that's what I can say. For the Chiefs, watching this game, I realized something, and that is the Chiefs are going to win the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And the Chiefs are just the best team. They have the best quarterback, and they had a blip on the radar last year. They were not that great, and they still went to the Super Bowl, and they got smoked. But like a lot of things went wrong for the Chiefs last year, and so they've corrected a lot of things. Their offensive line, which I thought was like coming into the year, I thought, man, they didn't do enough. Like the offensive line is coming together. They're not great, they're not amazing, but they're playing well enough. Mahomes is playing great. The running game is starting to get going. They're like the offense doesn't look as stale. They're running like, yeah, like this team looks like they're going to run they're going to get in the form. Xavier Worthy only had 4 carries or 4 targets in this game, but he's a great decoy. I mean, Andy Reid's doing a really good job of kind of opening these underneath, and it makes a difference. Rashee Rice is a really good player. And so I think all of these guys are going to take, as long as they stay healthy, all of these guys have just gotten more valuable. And so the time to have traded for them was last week. That's gone, obviously. You can still trade for them. I think there's probably someone out there who owns Rashee Rice or Isaiah Pacheco, or Patrick Mahomes, maybe, who thinks, oh man, this is my chance to dump them, right? Like there's someone thinking, this is my chance to get some value. And I think I would actually pounce on that. I'd be buying these guys if I could. So yeah, that would be my thoughts. I think the Chiefs are the class of the AFC. The Eagles beat them, but if they play the Eagles again today, I think they'd beat the Eagles. I think the Chiefs are going to get better and better, and I think they win the Super Bowl. And it wouldn't surprise me if they win every game out.
Yeah, I wonder. Yeah, I actually had that thought too. I moved them to number 1 in my power rankings after they beat Detroit, and they look great. They look absolutely great. The only question is who's going to play them, because I want to make sure I had that exacta, because I have Chiefs. I have a Chiefs Rams exacta both ways. I have Chiefs Eagles exacta both ways. I have Chiefs Redskins exacta both ways. I have Chiefs Vikings exacta both ways. I'm missing the Lions, unfortunately. And I don't know who else. Maybe Seattle. I don't really buy Seattle. What?
I have the Lions.
The Lions. Yeah, maybe. I should probably just buy into Chiefs Lions exactas just in case, because it's the only combo I don't have that's like seems realistic right now. But yeah,
I've got Lions and Chiefs both ways. I've got I mean, in a fictional world where I gambled, I don't. And this
because you stopped gambling, so yeah, it has to be fictional.
I got Rams, Chiefs, and let me see what I got Chiefs, Commanders, because once upon a time I thought the Commanders were going to go to the Super Bowl, and I got Chiefs, Eagles.
Eagles is still possible. They're not playing well, but they could flip on the switch and
they just had their offense maybe the best game of the year just now.
It did. Yeah, we'll get to that in a second. How do you guys feel about Tez Johnson? How much fab you putting into Monangai and Tez? Not Tez. Don't put fab into Tez. Did you hear that MVP thing with Tez, by the way? That was like one of the funniest things ever.
I liked him a little bit in that game. Evans is out probably for the year, if not for the bulk of the year. He's out for the year. I think they announced that today.
I thought they said most of the year, but maybe I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah. So he's out for a while. Chris Godwin, who knows? Ubuka should be back and fine, but maybe there's lingering issues there. I like Tez. Tez is probably my second favorite waiver wire pickup of the week. I wouldn't put a ton of fab in. Maybe 10% whatever you got left is I might put toward Tez.
Okay, interesting. I didn't give him much thought. He's only like 160 pounds. I don't know. Did you hear that MVP thing with Tez Johnson, by the way? That was the funniest thing. So he caught a touchdown. is against is a couple weeks ago. He caught a touchdown against the Niners caught a touchdown. And like Baker throws in the touchdown, and the crowd goes MVP, MVP, and Tez is sitting on the sidelines, and he's talking to like Sterling Shepard or something, and he's like, "Why are they chanting MVP? I haven't done anything this year." And Sterling's like, "They're talking about Baker." So anyway, I thought that was hilarious. Anyway, our draft's on their way. So I pick ninth here, so we'll see who we get. I'm voting for Josh Jacobs. Anyway, let's go to Panthers 13, Jets 6. Man, this is one of the adjustments I made on my picks, and I was like, I had the Panthers initially, and I was like, oh, the Panthers have a lot of injuries. Let me go to the Jets. What a stupid idea that was. Jets couldn't score at all. Justin Fields got benched. Tyrod Taylor wasn't any better. He threw 2 interceptions. 1 interception was horrible. Breece Hall got hurt in this game. It was not a long-term injury, though. Isaiah Davis, might want to consider adding him because Hall might be traded. The Jets have no reason to keep Hall because he's in his contract year. So anyway, Garrett Wilson did not play in this game. That's why Tyler Johnson led the team in receiving. Mason Taylor, it looks pretty decent. I think 33-31 is fine given the passing volume there. The Panthers have the number 1 defense in the NFL since week 2. Hilarious. Number 1 run defense. Sorry. Number 1 run defense in the NFL since week 2. So that's why Hall didn't do much. Rico Doodle, 17 for 79, like a big step backward from what we've seen recently from him. But no, I mean, he somehow looks like the better running back. He looks great. Liggett, don't buy this 9 for 92 and a touchdown. McMillan was tied up with Sauce Gardner, so Young was just not looking his way. Young, by the way, got hurt. He hurt his I forget what he injured. He's out for 2 to 4 weeks, so it'll be Andy Dalton going forward. So any thoughts on this game?
Yeah, I still don't think Rico Doodle is a good player. I think he sucks. I watch him like, this guy's not good. This is not going to last. Chuba Hubbard's a better player. My guesstimate is that will right itself as the year goes on. Like in 4 weeks, we'll look back and be like, remember that time we thought Rico was actually good? I think Chuba Hubbard is a great buy low candidate right now. I'd be all over Chuba Hubbard if you need a running back. Now, if you don't need a running back, obviously don't worry about that. I think the rest of the Panthers team, I don't know that I really care about anyone on this team. As far as the Jets go, you mentioned that the Jets have no reason to keep Breece Hall. Other than if they want to, they have a really good reason to keep him. He's actually a really good player. Maybe actually sign your players. Maybe actually offer a contract extension to a good young player. Maybe the Jets, I don't know. Just these teams that are so mismanaged are so terrible. The one thing I will say this about the Jets, similar to the Dolphins for different reasons. It does feel like the commentary you're getting from the Jets front office and from the owner, the leaks coming out, it does feel like they are turning the page on 2025 and looking to 2026. It does seem like I don't want to say it because I hate to admit that teams do this, but it does. I smell a tank. I smell a tank coming. It seems to me like they're going to bench Justin Fields. They're going to start Tyrod Taylor, and they're going to start fading out some of their starters and giving kind of 50-50 carries, 50-50 splits between starters and backups. And it seems to me like this is the kind of situation where you get to week 10, they cut a random defensive starter for no reason. They cut some special teams player week 12. Teams do this stuff, and they cut a player here or there just to save a couple bucks and intentionally make their team worse. Do I believe teams intentionally go out trying to lose? No, I don't. I don't believe that coaches are intentionally trying to lose. I don't believe that players are intentionally trying to lose. But ownership and front office sometimes can make decisions that will handicap the team. And I sense that from the Jets. I think the wheels are going to fall off here. So if you own the Jets, I think this isn't the time to sell them. I think if you have Garrett Wilson, if you can get something for him, I own Breece Hall in all 4 of my leagues. So I'm not excited to say this. Obviously, I love Breece Hall. I think he's a great player. But I am shopping him a little bit right now. So I actually just offered Zay Flowers and Breece Hall to a guy in my league for JSN. I think I'm overpaying slightly. But JSN's the number one running back, number one receiver in PPR leagues right now. So
Yeah, he's been great.
yeah. So I don't know they will accept Zay Flowers and Brees Hall for JSN, but I'm willing to make the deal right now.
Okay. Yeah, JSN, as you can see on the screen here, he went 6th overall. So I think this is kind of like instructive to like what could happen next year, like next summer. Obviously, locks are going to change with the players moving around and stuff like that. I had a chance at Barkley and Achane. I took Derrick Henry because he has had his bye so far. So, like I said, these guys basically have a 1-game suspension, really 2 because of the short tenure of this league. And I took Jacobs 1. Both those guys have had their bye weeks, so feel pretty good that I'm going to have all these guys. I'm going to have both those guys for 7 weeks instead of 6. Would you have done anything differently there? Just looking at the draft board.
I mean, I think defensible. I would take JSN in that spot. I think that's probably a good spot. Stevenson at 1.3 feels wow.
Oh my god, I didn't even notice that. Oh my god. That's terrible.
What?
Man, he really does not like Travion Henderson, this guy, probably Colin.
That seems strange. Bijan number 1, Jonathan Taylor number 2. That's defensible. Chase at the 5 spot, defensible. All these positions, all these spots are defensible, except of course Stevenson.
Yeah.
Nakua at 112 feels a little early with the injury. And the bye week coming up, right? So
yeah.
Not crazy, but maybe a little early based on the production you expect to get from him. Yeah, Javonte Williams in the mid-second round feels slightly early to me because I think that team could fall apart anytime. Devon Achane at 2.6 feels early.
Oh my God, Charbonnet 210. This guy's this guy's trying to tank this draft or something. I hope this draft is not canceled. I don't know. At least it's not like Blake Bell. It's not like real player. He took real players here. Thoughts on Bill moving forward? Keep or sell? I keep him. I mean, he's the starter on a team that could be good. You know, once they get Daniels back. I have no issue with Bill Krosky. What do you think?
Depends what you can get for him. I mean, if someone's going to treat him like he's a RB1, I would trade him. If someone's going to get you RB2 value, I'd trade him. If someone's going to give you RB3 or flex value, I would say no, keep him.
Yeah, it makes sense. Okay, while we wait for my next pick, we had Patriots 31, Titans 13. This is another pick adjustment I made. I had 5 units on the Patriots, and then I saw the weather report. It's like crazy winds. I was like, oh man, this is going to impact the Patriots. The sharps are on the Titans. I'm like, all right, you know what? I'll make 3 units on the Patriots instead of 5. Of course, the Patriots won easily. Don't trust weathermen. That is what that's the takeaway here. They either are always wrong or they lie. So I don't know which one's which, but it is impossible to predict the weather. And or they lie. They make sure that you go buy supplies to stimulate the economy. That's what I think. Anyway, so Drake May broke Tom Brady's single game completion record. Like he's been awesome. He's getting the most out of Diggs and Butte. Stevenson, clearly the best running back on the team. Henderson's just an afterthought right now. It's crazy. That is a disaster. I'll take the L for that one. That's horrible. Titans. I think if Spears is available, you could pick him up maybe because Pollard could be traded. It makes a lot of sense for the Titans to trade Pollard, and then Spears is going to get all the workload. Not that that means all that much, but anyway. Shamir ADK, 4 for 70 and a touchdown. That's just a mirage. Don't bother with that. It's going to be someone different each week. Ridley was out. He might be back soon. So any thoughts on this game?
Yeah, the passing game of the Titans sucks. Cam Ward sucks right now. He doesn't belong in the NFL, it seems like. That could change. He's a rookie. But he's just absolutely terrible and lost. Even if the Titans, by the way, don't trade Tony Pollard, I still think Tajay Spears is a good potential add, only because it could be just with a new coaching staff down the stretch. They'll just be like, okay, what do we really have in Spears? Maybe they really want to give it a shot. So maybe they just hand it over to Spears. That's possible. Drake May looks like he's maybe the best quarterback in last year's draft. He's playing the best right now. I still give the edge to Jaden Daniels, but Drake May looks great. He's smart, he's playing very efficiently, making good decisions, not to put the ball harm's way. hit that deep pass to Butte was freaking awesome. He looks great. And so, yeah, he was one of the guys we were recommending late. This is why you draft quarterbacks late. Don't draft quarterbacks early. Guys like Drake May are available. Drake May and Justin Herbert were the two guys I was recommending the most. Gosh, how do I lose any league? Like, I'm just right all the time. It's amazing. Anyway, Ramondre Stevenson, who I also have in a ton of best ball leagues. I was drafting him like crazy in best ball. He was great. And I'm loving it. I faded Henderson because most of the guys I trust were unsure about him. So, yeah, I'm really excited that I have Henderson. What did I say? Henderson? Stevenson. Sorry, I have a ton of Stevenson, who went 1.3 in this draft a year just now. That's too early. Don't take Stevenson 1.3 in best ball draft. Yeah, this Patriots team actually all of a sudden, they went a couple weeks ago, it seemed like, do they have any decent fantasy options? And all of a sudden now they've got kind of like a little bit of a wagon going. Like Stephon Diggs looks good, which is shocking. Stevenson looks good. Butte looks like a decent option. Looks like they're going to be able to sustain tight end. Like, this actually looks like a decent offense that's going to be able to sustain some fantasy production. I kind of want to get a piece of this. If Butte is still available in your league, I'd I don't know what his ownership percentage is in leagues right now. I didn't check.
It's 27%
in ESPN leagues.
ESPN, yeah,
that's pretty low actually. Wow, I'm surprised by that. I think he's easily a wide receiver 3 right now.
Yeah,
and so maybe he's a low end wide receiver 3 or like a high end flex. If Butte is your flex, I think you'd be doing really well. So yeah, I'd be starting him over a lot of guys that were drafted way ahead of him. I trust, in Vrabel we trust, I guess.
Yeah, it's amazing what a much better coach will do for your team. Yeah, Butte. I've been starting Butte for the past 2 weeks, and it's been working out. All right, so I have to make a pick here. I guess I'm taking. I wanted Metcalf on the way back, but I'll take Sutton. Metcalf had his bye already, so I took Kyron Williams. 309 seemed late for him. I know that he's not like doing all that great and stuff, but I don't know. There are a bunch of receivers I like, so I figured one of them would fall back to me. So I don't know. It was fun. Anyway, so let's hold on. Let me see if we had any comments. What's up, Walter? Where do you get your info on rushing and passing defenses for matchup purposes? So there's this website. It's let me pull it up here. It is because it's a weird site name. It's RBSDM. I'll post it in the comments right here so you have it. Sounds like a porn site, but don't worry, it is not. It is they have a lot of like stats and stuff on EPA and rushing and pass defense stats, also offense and quarterback stats. It's a lot of interesting info there, so you can check it out. It's free too. So should I drop Mixon? Evans might be back for fantasy playoffs. Henry got Ertz for Tracy Monangai, Brashard Smith, Tez. Yeah, you should drop Mixon. Yeah, Evans, yes. Henry, I wouldn't carry 2 tight ends. So whichever one you like between Henry and Ertz. For Tracy, I wouldn't like rush to pick up Tracy. Monangai, yes. Brashard Smith in PPR, and Tez and Kenny just said he likes Tez. So what do you think? What do you think about this? Jason Ortiz, is that your cousin?
Yeah, Jason, well done. Good to see you, Jason. For Tyron Tracy for the Giants, like I like Tracy. He looked decent this past week. I mean, it depends on what the rest of your roster is, I guess. Depends on what your league is like. Should you drop Mixon? Unless you have an IR spot, yes. Like, don't use up a roster spot for Mixon. If you have an IR spot that you're not using, like, sure, why not keep, just in case he comes back in 3 weeks for some reason, but like, I wouldn't be using a regular roster spot for him at this point. Mike Evans, you can drop. I can't imagine he's going to be back in a place that's going to be valuable for you. Yeah, don't carry 2 tight ends. I actually kind of like Ertz. I like their schedule a little bit down the stretch, so I like Ertz a little more than Henry. But Henry, I just talked about the Patriots offense, so maybe you like him more. Yeah, I would drop all of those guys that you just mentioned for any of the guys that you're looking at. like Brashard Smith, Tez, like I would rate all those guys above Mixon or Evans or the tight ends right now, to be honest. Like,
yeah.
It depends on what you need. It depends on the rest of your roster and what your competition's got.
Yeah, and this too, Chubb/Cup. Yeah, I've been saying don't roster Cup all year. I've been saying that since the summer. Don't do it. And Chubb is so washed up. Woody Marks is going to take over at some point. So, I would dump those guys in favor of the ones you listed for sure. I think this Colin guy is going to get this draft and they canceled. Like, none of these picks is defensible. Sometimes you see like Josh Allen go 103, and you're like, that's a bad pick. But you know what? Like, he may not get him on the way back, so I could understand it. But like, none of these are defensible. So I don't know. This might get canceled, unfortunately. But anyway, we'll still draft this and see what happens. Hopefully it doesn't get canceled. Anyway, let's go to the your game. Eagles 28, Vikings 22. You mentioned it earlier. Jalen Hurts' best passing performance ever, maybe 19 to 23, 326, 3 touchdowns, incredible. For as great as Hurts was, Barkley was that bad. And it's not really Barkley. He's getting hit in the backfield all the time. Just no running room at all. For the Vikings, Carson Wentz, bad first half, good second half to lead a comeback. Didn't quite get there, but still he made things interesting for a while. He threw a lot to Addison, Jefferson, Hawkinson almost had a touchdown, but it's called back. So any thoughts on this game?
Yeah, Hurts looked great for long stretches. The offensive line still not playing great in the pass game or the run game. So that's a big part of it. Yeah, it's not Barkley. When Barkley has an opening, he hits it and he's great. The Eagles did do something this week that was very unique, and that is this guy just like Justin Fields.
Yeah.
This draft's getting bonked. Sorry, bro.
I hope not. I hope they don't catch it, but this fucking nuke.
When it comes to the Eagles, they did something they haven't done all year. They had 10 plays under center, which is the most they've had this season, and they threw the ball 4 times all 4 times out of play action. The Eagles, the number of times before this past week, the number of times the Eagles ran a play under center with play action and a pass in the first 6 games, a combined 1 time. Once in 6 games, Hurts was under center. They ran a play action pass. They did it 4 times in this game. Pretty remarkable.
Yeah,
they were pretty much telegraphing their plays. If Hurts was under center, everyone knew it's going to be a run. If Hurts was in a shotgun, everyone knew it's going to be a pass. If Hurts was in a shotgun in a pistol formation, it's going to be a run. If Hurts is in a shotgun in a standard shotgun, it's going to be a play action pass. But like the play action was useless because everyone knew they weren't going to run. So at least like you have to do some of those things to keep the defense honest, and they did that in this game. The Vikings defense is legit, and the Eagles passing game was really good against them. And so, yeah, this was one of Hurts' best passing performances. Here's the thing: when Hurts is great, he's great. When he's bad, he's really bad. He's almost never in between. Nice. Hurts has never had just like a regular good game. Like he's always like amazing or terrible in the passing game. And so he is what he is. Like, he's a 6th year in the league. He's not going to change. Like, it is what it is. So you live it, you live with it, you love it. And Devontae Smith was great. AJ Brown was great. I actually offered Devontae Smith to Anish, the commissioner of our league, for Sam Laporta this past week because I need a tight end in our league, and I was tired of Devontae Smith. I'm glad I didn't make that trade. And so, Anish, you should have taken the trade. He didn't take it.
Yeah, sounds like you should have. I just drafted Jalen Hurts, by the way, 509. Seems late, right? I mean, Mahomes at 403, Prescott 406. Seems like a good spot to take Jalen Hurts. I was gonna take Devontae Smith. Come on, man. I hate when people like disrupt you like that. Like, I'm obviously going for the stack. All right, which receiver am I taking? Quentin Johnston? I guess Garrett Wilson should be back, right?
Man, Stephon Diggs is looking good.
He is.
I really liking Drake May right now. I think they could be really good down the stretch.
Stephon Diggs, you say? Okay. We'll draft Stephon Diggs. Let's go.
I can't believe I was saying that. I mean, it's kind of gross to think about drafting Stephon Diggs at this point, doesn't it? I mean,
I
A
know.
month ago, I never would have thought that.
I really wanted Devontae Smith there, but to go to the stack. But anyway, I feel like Franklin's gonna be a deep sleeper waiver pickup because Denver is facing Dallas. Maybe this week Harvey breaks out. Harvey's just not getting that many touches, but I could see Franklin having a big game. Dallas's defense is so bad, so yeah.
Yeah, I like Troy Franklin. I have him in one league, as I haven't started him, but yeah, man, if you're starting Troy Franklin, like I don't know, you got to be you're reaching.
Yeah, I mean, it depends who you have on bye. There's 6 teams on bye this week, so it could be tough. Shaheed, Tez, Franklin, Mooney, or Alec in the flex PPR. Well, I would say Pierce maybe. It's tough. They're all like not bad. Maybe Franklin. Let's go Franklin actually with the matchup.
I like Tez.
Tez, okay.
I like Tez. I mean, Baker Mayfield's playing great. Someone's got to catch passes in that offense. I think Tez is the guy.
Yeah, maybe. I don't hate any of those guys. Maybe Shaheed, I'm not a fan. Like he has the upside, but I don't know. I don't really trust that. If you had to drop in standard in order, Pollard, Hubbard, Charbonnet, Brian Thomas, McLaurin. So players to drop. I think Hubbard is number 1 because he's getting fewer touches than actually, you know what? I think it's Pollard actually.
Yeah, I would say Pollard.
I say it's Pollard. Actually, I think it's Pollard then Hubbard.
Yeah.
Then probably McLaurin's coming back this week. So
yeah.
I Thomas got hurt. So I'd say Thomas, then Charbonnet, then McLaurin, I think.
I would not want to drop Charbonnet, Thomas, McLaurin unless I absolutely had to.
Yeah.
So all 3 of those guys could give you value. Hubbard and Pollard are the guys that I'd be dropping if I had to.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I agree. Looking ahead, I need a QB for week 9. Top options are Darnold against the Redskins, Flacco versus the Bears. What do you think? Darnold's been great. So Washington's defense stinks. So I'd go Darnold.
Yeah, I like Darnold.
Yeah.
I don't think Flacco's a terrible option, though.
Yeah, I agree. Would like Shaheed more if Kellen Moore used him like could be acted. Yeah. I mean, plus, like, you know, you have terrible quarterbacking and stuff, but at least they had like Derek Carr for some games last year. This is pretty brutal for the Saints. Anyway, what is the next game? We have Cowboys 44, Redskins 22. Speaking of the Redskins here, this may have been a competitive game. We don't know. I mean, Washington was behind, but Daniels got hurt. I bet I made like 6 or 7 live bets last week, and this Jane Daniels over rushing yards is the only one that lost because he got hurt. So it's a good week for that. But anyway, we had no Debo, no McLaurin here, but it sounds like they're both going to be back this week, so things should improve. At least offensively for Washington. Defensively, it's a nightmare. Lamb had a big game. Pickens didn't score, but 4 for 82 is good. Jake Ferguson, 7 catches, only 29 yards, 2 touchdowns. So at least he's scoring and he's catching balls. Not many yards, but that'll correct itself. Javonte Williams looks like the old Javonte Williams just off for like 4 games before he tore his ACL his rookie year. Like he looks really good. And then Dak Prescott's playing out of his mind right now. Any thoughts on this game?
Yeah, I like Williams. I think he's it looks good. The Commanders should be better. I know that Daniels was out in this game, but like this team is not as good. Like the team that went to the championship game last year that everyone was telling me how good they were. This team's not a playoff team right now. Like even with Daniels, they're not even a playoff team. Like I don't know what's going on with this team. And I think like there's a lot of good options on this team, but not great. And so like I got Terry McLaurin in one league. He's going to come back. I'm not super confident, and I'm not starting him his first game back. Like I don't love any of their running game options. Like I think they're all kind of just okay, like fine. But I got Zach Ertz in a couple leagues. I don't love that. Like this Commanders team, I'm down on them, and I think this could fall apart. The Cowboys, are they this good? I don't know. I think this was just the Commanders laying an egg. I think the Cowboys kind of suck, actually. Like this is the least impressive 44-point performance I've ever seen. Like they're like scoring points and throwing the ball all over the place, and I'm kind of like, yeah, I kind of just still think you suck. Sorry. Like maybe Dak is in the MVP running. Maybe he legitimately belongs there, but like I still think this team sucks. I think their defense sucks. I think they're like I just think they're fat. They look good. They're flashy. I just think when push comes to shove, this team's not going to be good, and they're not going to win games. So
yeah, I don't think they're good either. I agree with you. Yeah,
for fantasy purposes, they'll be fine. Like if you own them, great. When CeeDee Lamb is fully healthy, like I think it'll be great. I guess the question I have that I'm not sure, like when CeeDee Lamb is fully healthy, what does that do to Pickens? Like how does that impact? Do they just both be great, or does that depress one or the other?
I think it makes his upside a little bit worse. But there is defenses can't take him out. They can't double team him. So like maybe his floor is higher, but his ceiling's lower. I think that's where I would say.
Yeah, that's probably fair.
Yeah. I took Tucker Kraft 709. He had his bye week already, so he's someone I target a lot. Usually 7th or 8th round. I know you like to wait on tight ends, but I feel like if you have like a tight end who could score into the 20s sometimes, maybe 15 plus, it's pretty valuable here in this sort of format. So I was looking at Kenneth Walker. I already had 3 running backs. 709 would have been pretty nuts. But anyway, let's quickly jam in a game here. Oh, wait, Well, I would talk about this one for a little bit. Broncos 33, Giants 32. Giants were up 19-0 in this game. The Broncos stormed back. They took the lead. Then the Giants took the lead, and then Denver came back and took the lead again. Crazy game. Should have went to overtime too, but the kicker missed an extra point. Dart has looked, at least fantasy-wise, look great. He's so much better than Russell Wilson. He just he reminds me of and I'm not saying this as a comp player-wise, but like as far as team energy and stuff like that, he reminds me of Tim Tebow, what he did for Denver in 2011, where like he took over for Orton. That was like a lifeless team, and then Tebow just like lit a fire under that team, and they had a lot of success winning games. It wasn't like pretty, but like he kept winning, and the team had a lot of energy. And I think like Jackson Dart brings the same sort of energy. He also like is like a scrambler too, like Tebow. So I'm taking McLaurin here. 8th round for McLaurin seems pretty good. Anyway, so I feel like Dart just gives a lot of energy. And like the fact that he doesn't even have Malik Neighbors is kind of crazy that he's doing this. If Neighbors is here, he'd look a lot better. But I'm curious to hear your thoughts on Dart and Scatabo as an Eagles fan watching this for the Giants. Of course, the Giants beat the Eagles last week, and they play them again this week. Real fast in Denver, Bo Nix was horrible in the first half, like sailing passes out of bounds all the time. Then he caught fire. He was great in the fourth quarter. Sutton, solid game. Mims made a big catch. We talked about Franklin. He scored a touchdown. He had as many targets as Sutton, so that's something to watch out for. So, what are your thoughts on this game, and in particular the Giants, who have been a lot better since they went to Jackson Dart?
The Denver Broncos scored 33 points in the last 13 minutes of regulation.
Yep.
Can we just pause for a second and think about how unbelievable that is? I didn't watch this game live, and so I was like following it a little bit, just seeing scoring. And I was just like, whoa, how the heck did they come back? When I went back and watched I didn't watch the first half. I heard it was terrible. I watched the second half, and I couldn't believe it. It was unbelievable. Bo Nix in the fourth quarter looked like Joe Montana. It was unreal. Courtland Sutton is awesome. The rest of the receivers are just okay. Mims and Franklin are fine. It's just going to be situational. It's just hard to rely on that. Dobbins looks great. As long as Dobbins is healthy, I think he's easily a flex start, if not maybe an RB2. Maybe a low end RB2 or high end RB3. I like them I like the fantasy options. Bo Nix. I've said this about Bo Nix's entire career for the last year and a half. Like, just there are moments he looks phenomenal, moments he looks terrible. I don't know which the real Bo Nix. Will the real Bo Nix please stand up? The Giants, Jackson Dart looks legit. But the passing options are just inconsistent. Wandale Robinson doesn't belong in the NFL. Like this guy sucks. Cam, I think Cam Scatterbo sucks too, actually. But I just think situationally he's scoring. I think Tracy is a better running back. I think by a pretty significant margin. But I think Cam Scatterbo has like this weird it factor that the teams like. I don't know. And so he's getting the carries. I just don't believe in it. Like, so it's hard for me to vouch for any of the Giants players. Yeah, by the way, I think the coach is an idiot. And so I think they could fire that coach at some point, and I think that would maybe unleash Jackson Dart in some ways, or maybe it would like hamper the offense. I don't know. I don't know if firing the coach would be good or bad at this point. It would obviously shake things up, but I'm struggling to know if it'd be good or bad. So I'm struggling to know whether or not you should buy or sell any of the Giants players.
I actually wouldn't fire Daboll. Not that I think he's a great coach or anything, but he's done good work with Jackson Dart, and so like I think I just want to see where it goes with this. You know, like a lot of the issues some quarterbacks have, young quarterbacks, is that you keep changing the offensive system, you keep bringing in new coaches. Like, you saw that with Alex Smith every single year he had a new coordinator. Like I would just like stick with Daboll, see what he could do in year 2 with Dart. You know, there's no neighbors now. You know, they don't have any other receivers. They like their offensive line except for Andrew Thomas is not good. Like give him better blockers, have neighbors come back, give him a better number 2 receiver. Like Slayton is going to be his number 2 receiver this week. Like so, I think just try it. Just I think it would be a mistake to kind of change things up on Dart, given that he's playing well right now. You know,
that's a really good point. So I have a question for you. Are you saying to me that changing your play caller or your offensive system is bad for a quarterback? Is that what you're telling me?
Yes. So it's pretty bad. Yeah.
So what if there was a quarterback in the NFL that dating back to his college days had 12 different offensive coordinators in the last 10 seasons? What would you think of that? And let's say that, like, let's say he was still successful in both college and NFL. What would you say about that?
I'd say he's very impressive.
Would you say like maybe like he had a chance to be the Super Bowl MVP?
Yeah, I think so. I think
Okay.
yeah. You could be onto something there. Yeah.
I don't think people realize what Jalen Hurts has done. I think people underrate. Like Jalen Hurts has had 12 different play callers in 10 seasons. Like
it's crazy. Yeah. It's absolutely
like every year he's got a different guy. In college, you know, halfway through the season they change. You know, the longest stretch he had Shane Steichen. He had Shane Steichen for a grand total of 24 games. So like that's the longest stretch he's had with the same play caller. Isn't that remarkable?
It really is. It's testament to how good he's been. Like people like to knock him and stuff like that. And yeah, he has some ugly games sometimes, but
yeah,
but it's really impressive that he just keeps producing. By the way, Mike Evans went 9-10. People are half asleep in this draft. I hope it stands. This guy took 5 quarterbacks in a row. Fields, McCarthy, Young, Tua, and Rattler.
Don't bank on this draft standing.
No, it's not. None of these quarterbacks are even good. This guy's an auto draft now. As if it wasn't already. He was already in this draft. This guy spent $16 to draft this team. So I don't really understand. I took Jackson Dart as my second quarterback. I didn't really like any of the options. That's how I usually like handle stuff in best ball. If I'm looking at the running backs, I'm like, I see the receivers, I'm like, I'm like, let me just draft the quarterback right now. That's how I do it.
That's fair.
And yeah, I took Hurts in the 5th round, Dart in the 9th round. But my stance on this is like in best ball, like this only applies to best ball. The quarterback's the highest scoring position, and so I think it's important to have a guy who can get to 25 plus each week. And so if you can get 25 plus each week for your quarterback, and I think you're going to be in a good spot. So that's why I took Dart. Dart has had some really good games, like 29, 23, 18, 19. You know, just his running ability turns him into a good option. So I feel like between him and Hurts, I could have like 25 plus or 22 plus at least each week, and I think that would put me in a good spot. And unfortunately, I need some receivers, and I'm about to be on the clock here. Like, do I take Shaheed? Do I take Myers? Myers could be traded, you know. Kendrick Bourne, I wouldn't rely on. Coleman's had his bye, but he's been struggling. What
Cooper
are you
Cup.
looking? Oh my God, no. Uh, and what are you looking
Cooper
at
Cup
here?
threw a pass this week, by the way. I mean, that was pretty
Yes,
impressive.
intercepted. I guess I don't think Shaheed, whatever. He has like potential for some big games. Anyway, we had some comments here. WNBA players are pushing for a system which the percentage of revenue that goes toward salaries goes with the business. Why would ownership fight this? They'd be all paid negative. Yeah, right. Exactly.
I haven't seen that. I'd be very curious to see the details on that. That's very interesting.
That'd be ultimate con job. Like, yeah, you guys are losing money now. Congrats. Broncos still never came close to covering. That's true. Yeah, at any point.
Yeah.
Are there any teams that are playing poorly right now who you feel will get right and make a run in the playoffs? I'd say the Ravens. You know, if
it's a good choice.
Ravens. Yeah. I think if the Redskins get McLaurin and Debo back and Daniels back soon, I think they can make a run. Any thoughts there?
Yeah, that's a really good question. I mean, the Bills are not playing great. I mean, their record, I guess, is fine. They're not playing great. But I guess that they don't really quite count in the category in this question.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the Ravens and the Redskins are the two teams that probably make the most sense. Yeah.
Yeah. What about the Jets? I'm just kidding. It's so bad. Yeah, I think those are the two answers. So anyway, let's get to the next game, which is Colts 38.
The Vikings. I mean, I think the Vikings can make a run.
Yeah, it's a good call. Chargers 38, Colts. Colts 38, Chargers 24. I wish. Again, this is a stupid decision I made. I had the Colts initially. I switched to the Chargers, and not only that, I made 3 units on the Chargers. Then I'm like, wait, I had a great 1 o'clock slate. Let's go to 4 units. That did not pan out well. The Colts did whatever they wanted to in this game, like anything they wanted to. Daniel Jones was great. Jonathan Taylor couldn't be stopped. Alec Pierce was great. Warren caught a touchdown. Pittman caught a touchdown. They were doing whatever they wanted to. Steichen was awesome in this game. The Chargers were doing nothing in the first half, and then Herbert caught fire in the second half. That's why he threw for 423 and 2. Like he was just throwing nonstop. Rondé Gatson. This is the 3rd best game of any rookie tight end ever. 7 for 164 in the touchdown. It's incredible. Keenan Allen, great. McConkey's a strong game. Quentin Johnson caught a touchdown to do anything, but I don't think he's 100%. So any thoughts on this game?
I think the 2 lessons to be learned. One, on the Chargers side, the lesson to be learned is they are a good team. They are legit, but they are going to be sporadic at times, and therefore the passing game isn't going to support 3 or 4 guys every week. So this week it was Keenan Allen and the rookie tight end Gadsden, and that's it. The rest of the guys were sporadic in the game. We've seen that all year. We've seen the Quinton Johnson games. We've seen the Keenan Allen games. We've seen the McConkey games. So it feels like they don't have what it takes, or they don't have the desire to support multiple passing options, any given week. So that's going to handicap or limit to some extent. That's not necessarily a bad thing. I mean, the Chargers are still a good team. You're still going to be playing a lot of those guys. You just have to know that there's sort of a little bit of a limitation there, and you're not going to get, you're not going to get 3 or 4 guys going off in any given week. You're going to get 1 or 2 guys going off. That's going to sort of be the case. That's not it's not totally abnormal in the NFL, but with this particular passing game, we maybe would have hoped for more. So you have to sort of temper your expectations there. On the flip side of this, the Indianapolis Colts look like a legitimate team. Daniel Jones looks legitimate. I still think he could turn into a pumpkin at any time. We've seen that, but Tyler Warren is awesome. Jonathan Taylor is awesome. I have Jonathan Taylor in 3 out of 4 leagues.
Oh, nice.
Because I was told that they were going to suck and that they wouldn't support a good running team. That's what I was told. So I drafted Jonathan Taylor all over the place. I got him in 2 leagues in the 2nd round. 1 league he dropped to the 3rd round. I drafted him 3.02 in 1 league.
Wow.
In our league, I drafted him, I think it's 2.06. Yeah, I'm pretty glad to have him. I did just offer him to someone. I'm in a league where I have 4 good running backs and my receivers suck. So I did just offer him for Chase Brown. And so So we'll see if that gets. I'm sorry. Did I say Chase Brown? No, not George. Sorry.
Chase Brown.
Jamar Chase.
Okay,
Chase.
yeah, that makes more sense.
Sorry, my brain I had a brain fart there. I did offer him for Jamar Chase in a PPR league. That we'll see if it gets accepted or not. So, in that league, I've got Josh Jacobs, and I've got Brees Hall, and I've got Alvin Kamara and Vidal as my running backs. So, I feel fine. It's only a 2 running back league. I feel fine rolling the dice with Brees Hall and Josh Jacobs if I can get Taylor for Jamar Chase. So, anyway, that's the league I started. Josh Whittingham, and Malik Washington. So
Whittingham, he's that irrelevant. He can.
What's his name? Whittington.
Whittington.
Whatever. Listen, when you come off the week and the first thing you do is before the week is over, you drop with one of the guys you just started.
Yeah.
That's a sign that you need to upgrade that position. So,
yeah, and it's not even Josh either. It's Jordan. Both names wrong. You started him, and then you're gonna cut him, which I get it. I played him in DFS.
What he scored 3.9 points this week, whatever it was.
Yeah, he didn't do it. Yeah, he didn't do anything. It was a disaster.
So I still won that league. I don't know how I won, but I won. Anyway, I think I got JSN and I've got Terry McLaurin coming back. So if I can add Jamar Chase, I think my team's got a shot. Anyway, that's Jonathan Taylor looks awesome. Tyler Warren looks awesome. Michael Pittman looks like he still looks good. Like the numbers are not there, but he still looks good.
Yeah.
And so I think he's the guy you could buy low still. Like the offense is good there. Alex Pierce, like you're not going to go out of your way for that guy, but if you're desperate, like you could do a lot worse than Alex Pierce. Yeah, I think what we're seeing with Shane Steichen is that like this guy actually knows how to call plays, and he's a good offensive coordinator, good offensive mind, and there's a reason why the Eagles went to the Super Bowl with that guy. So yeah, well done.
Yeah, I just took Pierce right now. It's my 5th receiver.
I think you do a lot worse for a 5th receiver.
Yeah. Trade Devontae and Cup.
You can have Josh Whittingham.
Josh Whittingham, yes. The Whittinghams. Trade Devontae and Cup for Drake London. Yes.
Of course. Yes.
Yeah.
Do it. Run. Yeah. Why are you asking?
It's just Devontae for London. So
yes.
Cup is 0.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, next game. Packers 27, Cardinals 23. Another bad move I made. I had the Cardinals initially +6 or 6.5, and then I switched to the Packers. Not only did I switch to the Packers, about 2 units on the Packers, so like horrible. Jacobs was not healthy, and yet he ran for 55 yards and 2 touchdowns. There was talk that he may not even play in this game, and yet he suited up and looked. Yeah. He don't look great, but he looks solid. Dubs 6 for 72. He continues to be the top receiver. My theory is that it's the big helmet that he makes him stand out, and Love's like, oh, there he is, and just throws at them. Tucker Kraft, another solid game. I took him in the 7th round in this best ball draft. Jacoby Brissett completed so many clutch third downs in this game. He had like a 3rd and 23 completion. He was like 3rd and 13 another drive. This guy like couldn't be stopped. And I was told Green Bay's defense was going to be great when they got Parsons, but actually I made that prediction myself, and it was completely wrong. Just the defense is ranked 18th in the NFL right now. Just not impressive at all. I will say though, Trey McBride. Remember last year when everyone was saying, oh, Trey McBride can't score touchdowns? Well, you know what? Kyler Murray's not the quarterback anymore, and now he's scoring touchdowns. Coincidence? I think not. What are your thoughts on this game?
I don't know for sure if it's a coincidence. I will tell you this. Based on the limit, just watching these guys this year, I'm not saying that Jacoby Brissett is more talented. I'm not saying they should go with Jacoby Brissett. I'm just saying that right now, in this moment, Jacoby Brissett is a better quarterback than Kyler Murray.
Yeah.
He's just playing better. That probably won't last forever. I would imagine long term, Murray's still a better player. But Brissett right now is better for this team. And so, I wonder if that is impacting the touchdowns and the fantasy production. In terms of the passing team, the passing game for the Cardinals is is quite inconsistent outside of McBride.
Yeah.
Marvin Harrison, he looks lost right now, man. He's dropping passes. He's not running right routes. Like, the receivers are totally useless as starters. I hate to say I told you so, but guys, I told you so. Marvin Harrison, I just don't think this guy's good. Like, I don't know, man. Like I'm not a scout. I'm a regular schmuck. Like, I just watch football. I'm like, this guy doesn't seem special. Like, I don't know. Like, Trey McBride is awesome. If you have Trey McBride, obviously you're starting him. Is he the best tight end in football? I would imagine he is, right? Like, is there anyone close to him? I don't know. Like, maybe
Bowers.
Bowers fully healthy.
Yeah.
McBride looks great, so he's the guy. Yeah, but if they go with Brissett, maybe you could trust him more. The running game of the Cardinals, I don't know what to do with it. The running game is incredibly inconsistent, but Bam Knight does seem to be the starter there. The rest of the guys suck. I don't know if Bam Knight is good, but he's at least going to get the volume. And if you're desperate for a receiver, I think I saw, or a running back, I think he's only owned in like 27% of Yahoo leagues and like, maybe 39% of ESPN leagues, something like that. So if Bam Knight's available and you're desperate for a flex or desperate for a run or RB2, I'd be willing to roll the dice. He's probably a high upside, low floor type guy. So I'd be willing to roll the dice there. Who they play in this game, by the way? I don't remember. What was the other team we were talking about? I forgot.
The Packers.
Oh, the Packers. Dude, Josh Jacobs is a freaking man, by the way. He's awesome. He only had 55 yards in this game, but he only had 13 carries. And the Packers offensive line is not great sometimes. He was met in the backfield a couple times. There's a couple plays where it's like, that would have been, for any other running back, that would have been a 2-yard loss or 3-yard loss, and he turns it into like a 2-yard gain. And you're just like, that's like the best 2-yard gain ever. Bijan Robinson actually did this for Atlanta quite a bit the other night as well, like multiple times. Josh Jacobs is awesome. He's another guy that I was drafting in the second round in leagues. I'm just like, in the league where I took Jonathan Taylor in the third round, I actually took Josh Jacobs in the second round, which was just dumb. I got Josh Jacobs at 211, Jonathan Taylor at 302 because everyone thinks receivers are the soup du jour, and I draft like it's 1995, so I'm taking running backs. Josh Jacobs is great. The passing game for the Packers is still incredibly inconsistent outside of Tyler Kraft. Romeo Doubs is like their best receiver right now, but like, he's not great. Matthew Golden, who I was told was great, is not great. Watson's coming back. Maybe he's going to be great. I don't know. Like, I don't trust any of these receivers right now. Like, these teams are kind of a mirror in some way, in that like I trust the tight ends and I trust I was going to say I trust the running backs. I don't trust the running backs from Cardinals. So that's a lie. I take that back. For the Packers, I trust the tight ends and I trust the tight end. I trust the running backs. That's about it. As far as defense goes, the Packers are a liability. They're not as good as people think they are, and so I think they can be scored on. This Packers team is not good. Someone asked earlier, teams that are not playing good that are going to turn it around. The opposite question of that, or the inverse, would be teams that look good on paper, but I think could fall apart. I think the Packers are like the number one team in my mind, of like a team that like on paper looks good, but I think could fall apart. Because I'm not sure I trust their defense, and I'm not sure I trust Jordan Love either. I'm not sure Jordan Love is great. Once upon a time, I was kind of in love with Mr. Love. Not so much anymore. So, yeah.
Yeah, I feel the same way. I don't mind Love. Actually, Green Bay has the number 2 offense in the NFL according to EPA. It's their defense that's really struggling. So, the issue with like Love has talent, like you could see it, but he does like a lot of stupid stuff. Like he like throws off his back foot. Like he just gets in this mode where he throws off his back foot like for like 10 passes in a row. It's like, what are you doing? So like he can like sabotage an offense that way. But sometimes he has great games too. So like that Dallas game where he went nuts. Like, I know Dallas's defense sucks, but he was great in that game. So they should go with Brissett. We agree. I think, yeah. So should I pick up Otten, Gatson, or Taylor just for this week? So
Who are you dropping?
well, I assume it's for a buy. I assume. I guess his tight end's on a buy. Maybe it's Tyler Higbee as the starter. Just kidding. So anyway, I think the Chargers are playing the Vikings. Jets are playing the Bengals. As I said, we just saw what Pat Fryermuth did to the Bengals defense. So I'm thinking Mason Taylor is the one you want just for this week. I think long term you want Gasson, but he asked just for this week. So I think it's Taylor.
That's a good question. I would say it's Gatson or Taylor. I'd be willing to roll my dice. I'd be willing to roll the dice with Gatson again. Ride the hot hand just to see. I like Taylor as a talent. It's hard for me to trust the Jets' offensive skill set right now.
Yeah.
And you're right. We just saw what the Steelers did to the Bengals from the tight end position. I have a tough time trusting the Jets in any situation right now.
Yeah, I hear you. Chuba and Dowdle. Am I really starting Doodle? I'm not buying it. I'd rather start Doodle than Hubbard right now because he's getting more carries. Like maybe that flips eventually, but like Doodle's been great statistically at least. So
if I can help it, I don't want either one to be honest in my starting lineup because I think the Doodle thing could come to an end. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if he has 13 carries for 28 yards this week. Like I think that could come to a screeching halt at any time, and I wouldn't want to be left holding the bag. If I've got no options, if it's just Doodle and Hubbard, yuck. I guess I go Rico Dottle. I don't know, man. That feels gross.
Yeah, I hear you. I'm about to make a pick here, so I need a third quarterback, and unfortunately, all the options are gone. I guess I'm going Cam Ward. Ugh, it doesn't feel good, but you want 3 quarterbacks in this format, so I'm just going to take Ward and hold my nose there. Anyway, the Sunday night game, 49ers 20, Falcons 10. You talked about Bijan Robinson before he faced a strong run defense here. So didn't do much running wise, but he had 6 for 52 receiving and a touchdown. McCaffrey broke free as a runner. Kittle's return helped there a lot. So huge. Big game as a runner and a receiver. Just he looks fantastic now. I still think he's on borrowed time. I worry about his injuries. But right now, he's definitely a top 4, top 5 pick if you're redrafting right now. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. There's not much else to say about this game. The Niners are going to get Pearsall and Purdy back soon. I'm not sure when. Penix got dinged up, so we're not sure if he's going to play this week. Could be Kirk Cousins. Any thoughts on this game?
Bijan Robinson is awesome. He's the number 1 player in fantasy right now. He only had 40 yards in this game, but still, he's awesome. He was getting met in the backfield. I think by my count on his 14 carries, I think he got met in the backfield 5 times.
Yeah.
So, and he lost by my count. He lost he lost 0 yards on those, like 5 times. He easily could have been tackled in the backfield. There was one that was like should have been a 4-yard loss, and he turned it into a 3-yard gain. I'm just like, wow, that's the best 3-yard gain I've ever seen. Yeah, he's freaking awesome. I have him in one league. I have him in our league. Actually, drafted him 2nd overall. Listen, I can't take too much credit for that because I had Saquon ahead of Bijan. If I could have, I would have taken Saquon. So I lucked into that.
Yeah,
to some extent. Took a number 2 overall, and I'm glad I did. Yeah, he's awesome. The Falcons passing game is very inconsistent. I do have Drake London in one league. But man, I feel like that's another guy that could turn into a pumpkin at any time. Like, and I don't know what to do with Kirk Cousins. If Kirk Cousins is going to play, like, is Kirk Cousins going to be good? Like, is his Achilles back? Like, is he okay? I don't know. It feels hard to know what to do with that situation. Yeah. On the Niners side, like, yeah, similar. The Niners, like, these teams are kind of mirror each other in some ways. Their running game is good, but their passing games are terribly inconsistent. So I don't trust any of the passing options. I don't trust any of the passing options on either of these 2 teams. I would not want any of these guys in my starting lineup right now. If you have Drake London, you have to start him, I guess, because you probably drafted him high enough where you had to take him. I know I did. So if you have him, you have to roll with him, but you don't have to feel good about it. And I take that back. If you have great options below London, maybe you could bench him. I don't know. I don't love it right now. It's not a great situation. For the Niners, outside of Christian McCaffrey, I'm not starting anyone on this team until further notice.
Kittle. I'd say Kittle, but that's it.
Yeah, but even Kittle's like, I mean, he got no carry. He had no catches in this game. He was in the block for more than 50% of the snaps. So I don't know that I want to trust. I don't know that I want to start Kittle at this point. And so Kittle's a victim of his own success. He's a phenomenal run blocker, and they, a lot of teams will pull their guard. The Niners, they pull their tight end, which is just like a weird, like no one does that. Like it's such a weird thing. You're like, oh, who do I want to pull across the formation to be my lead blocker to kick out? Oh, the tight end. Like it's just like a not even. Like it's just an unheard of thing in today's football.
Right.
George Kittle is this throwback tight end, like 1965, and yet he can still receive like it's 2025, right? He's great, and so, but he's a victim of his own success. Where I think he was in the block. I think I saw the stat was on 50% of the snaps. He didn't run around. So it's like he's a great player, but if he's not gonna run routes, like that's not good. Like so. It's just I don't feel comfortable starting him. And I guess if you have nothing at tight end, I guess you have to do it and just roll the dice and hopefully get lucky. But if Kittle comes back from injury and you put him in your starting lineup and you get 0 points, like that doesn't feel good. So I don't know. Between these two teams, it's Bijan, it's Kittle, and it's no one else that I feel good about.
Yeah, I hear you. Drop Pollard for Monangai in standard. I mean Pollard's still starting and he could be traded too, so I think I'd keep Pollard. Yeah, it's close. Yeah, I'd rather keep Pollard. Yeah, trade BTJ for Olave or Adunze and trade Saquon and Marv for Justin Jefferson and Charbonnet. I have Gibbs, Judkins, and Rico. So the first one, trade BTJ for Olave or Adunze. I think BTJ is injured, so I think I'd go with Adunze there. He had his bye week already. Keep that in mind. So that's kind of like a bonus there. And trade Saquon and Marv for just Jefferson and Charbonnet. I think I would do that too.
Marvin
Harrison, I think.
Saquon and Marv for Jefferson. Yeah, for Jefferson and Charbonnet. Yeah, I would do that.
Yeah, I would
absolutely.
Do that too.
Yeah. I also hate Marvin Harrison, so that's part of it.
Yeah, it's easy to do that if you hate the guy.
The BTJ, I'd be hesitant to trade BTJ. Check on the injury, see what the injury situation is. I would be nervous to trade him. I don't know. It's hard to say. But between Olave and Odunze, I got to be honest. The guy that I trust the most down the stretch, I think I trust Olave a little more than Odunze. Spencer Rattler sucks, but I think I trust Olave a little more than Adunze right now.
So with Olave, he's just like if he gets concussed, he's going to be out for a while because he's had so many concussions. That was my fear with him heading into the season. And like I said, Adunze's already had his bye, so you're going to have Adunze for one more game than Olave. So I that could be a tiebreaker for you, but I do like Olave. If he stays healthy, he's going to do well for you. It's just I'm concerned about the injuries. So I was going to draft the Freiermuth here. Shout out to Cassandra, but he got taken already. So I'm just going to take my standard Higbee third tight end and 18th round and just roll with it. So Isaiah Davis or Monangai. Here's the thing. Like, I think if Hall's not traded, then Monangai, but Hall could be traded, and then Davis could be good. But then again, like Braylon might come back at some point. So I would say Monangai right now.
I don't trust the Jets. I just don't trust the Jets. Like,
yeah,
I don't trust their good players, let alone their mediocre third string players. Like,
that's true. BTJ, the Jets schedule is easy though. They have a very easy schedule, so there's that. BTJ sucks. I've been benching him for sure. He has paid off. Yeah, I mean, yeah. Do you guys like any of the Steelers tight ends? There's just too many of them. You don't know which one's gonna go off. That's the problem. Like if it was just Freiermuth, I would like Freiermuth a lot. If it was just Jonnu, I'd like Jonnu a lot. Darnell Washington, him too. Like but there's so many of them. Like you just don't know which one's going to do what each week. That's the
Yeah.
problem. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't rely on that. Anyway, we had 2 more games to talk about. The first Monday night game, Lions 24, Bucks 9. So I mentioned this earlier. Evans was on the field, and he looked like he was limping around. He did not look healthy. And then he got on the same play, he got concussed and he broke his collarbone. So rough game. I was actually putting my son to bed, and I got a text from Nuggets. And he goes, Evans dead. I'm like, oh my God, what happened? And I looked at the replay later, and it was pretty brutal. So that's a shame. Ibuka was not playing a full complement of snaps in the first half, but once Evans went out, they went to him more, and then he looked good. Like he looked healthy. I was surprised that he played. He missed no time with an hamstring. So he should be 100% next week, I would think. Rashad White could not do anything. Not surprised. Detroit's run defense is great. Bucky Irving could be back anytime. For the Lions, Gibbs had a tough matchup here, but just goes to show that when you have an elite player, they're matchup proof. So Gibbs was awesome. Goff, not his best outing. It wasn't bad either, but he missed some throws. St. Brown was great. James Williams, no catches. He had only 2 targets. So I imagine his fantasy owners have to be frustrated. He's a best ball guy. He's not a redraft guy. It's so hard to depend on him. So any thoughts on this game?
Lessons learned. If you're a James Williams owner, I own him in one league. I think he's cuttable in most leagues. I guess if he was on a different team, he probably would be used a lot more, a lot differently. But in this particular Detroit scheme, he's just not a guy. And the scheme in Detroit is unique and kind of goofy because of St. Brown. Like I'm around St. Brown is a unique style player, kind of throws the whole offense off. And James Williams, like many of us thought we would take a step forward this year. I was a big fan coming into the year. I was wrong. I think he's pretty much cuttable at this point. Jahmyr Gibbs is awesome. I think he's starting to separate himself a little bit from David Montgomery in terms of just kind of show he's clearly the better player. It's not a 1A, 1B anymore. It really is a 1-2. Montgomery's still going to get plenty of carries, but it's a 1-2, not a 1A, 1B anymore. I think that's a lesson learned there. If you have Laporta, if you have St. Brown, you're still starting those guys. They do cannibalize each other a little bit because they run a lot of the same routes. They operate the same part of the field, but there's not really much you can do about that at this point. If you own them, you're starting them. On the on the off chance that they have like a huge game, if Jared Goff is great, then they'll feed more guys, but they just that doesn't happen as often as you're going to think. Mm-hmm. The Buccaneers, by the way, Ibuka wasn't fully healthy, but still looked decent. They threw the ball a lot to him. Baker Mayfield's playing the best football of his career. He still had some bad moments in this game. The offensive line was really inconsistent. Obviously Godwin and Evans being out is not great. The Otten stat line I think is inflated. A lot of garbage. So I wouldn't believe in that too much. The Shepard stat line I think is kind of garbage. The guy I think the best player of that bunch, the second best player in the receiving core, I think is Tez Johnson. I think he just looked better. I think he just looked like a better NFL player. He got less catches, but I just watch him play. I just think he's a little better. I think I would trust him more. And if Evans is going to be out and Godwin's going to be out and Tez Johnson is going to be the number 2 guy and going to get the kind of the full complement of practices and the full host of preparing, I actually think Tez Johnson is well worth. I think he's got a high ceiling and a low floor. Mm-hmm. Right, Tez Johnson could have 2 catches for 20 yards next week, or I think he could have 7 catches for 80 yards and a touchdown. Like I think that's in the realm of possibility. Sterling Shepard sucks. Don't chase him. Cade Otton, I think, is not as good as people think, and I wouldn't chase that. So, but I think Baker Mayfield's playing well enough, and this offense is clicking enough where I'd be willing to take a shot on roll the dice on Tez.
I mean, he could be onto something there. He's so like thin though. It's pretty crazy. Like I kind of like worried that he's gonna get snapped in half on any play. But then again, like DeMonte Smith is always criticized for being slender. So But Devontae Smith is like the Hulk compared to Tez Johnson, though. Like Tez Johnson's so small. Anyway, our final game is Seahawks 27, Texans 19. This was like one of the most puzzling games I've ever seen in my life. Like the Seahawks were well ahead in the fourth quarter, and they kept throwing, like not just throwing like like short passes, safe passes. They're throwing like over the middle of the field, like dangerous throws for no reason. Like they're way ahead. And then the Texans, when they get the ball, the fourth quarter, time's ticking down. They need to come back, and they start running the ball with Chubb. They run the ball at the goal line with Marks. That goes nowhere. It's like the Seahawks thought they were behind, and the Texans thought they were ahead. Like I don't understand what these teams are doing at all. This is very strange. Anyway, Charbonnet had 5 fewer carries, 4 fewer touches, but he got the important touches. He got the goal line stuff, and so I think that just makes it more valuable. If he's going to get the touchdowns and Walker's not going to score at all, I'd rather have the touchdowns than some yards. JSN, you mentioned JSN; he's incredible. This is actually a tough matchup for him. Houston's pass defense is elite. I just mentioned that when you have an elite player, they're matchup proof, and this is an example of that. The Texans, Dalton Schultz, we bet him over 38.5 receiving yards. Then we bet him again over 60.5 receiving yards to show the sportsbooks who's boss here. The Seahawks can't defend tight ends. They have the worst tight end defense in the NFL. Just play if you want betting advice. And Kenny, you're not a gambler at all, so close your ears. If you just bet any tight end against the Seahawks over. Just do it blindly, and you will make money. It is a cheat code, and do it live too once they eclipse it or ladder it. Stroud was not good in this game. He had like a stretch where he was okay, but he really struggled. I was chatting with Evan, who comes on the show on Thursday. I was chatting with him during this game, and he's like, Stroud just has a deer in the headlights look. And I was like, yeah, he looks like shell shocked from all the beating he's taken the past 2 years, especially this year with no Laremy Tunsil. So, yeah, it's just pretty brutal to watch. And Chubb is washed up. I don't know what he's doing getting carries. Like, it has to be Woody Marks going forward. So, what are your thoughts on this game?
This is the only game all week I didn't watch in protests. Because the NFL should not be starting games at 10 p.m. Eastern time. I got a life. I got kids. I got to get up in the morning. What the F is wrong with the NFL?
I didn't watch it right now. What are you talking about?
It's different. It's different. It's for the podcast. It's for the people. I'm a man of the people. I can't stay up on Monday nights. I got a life at 10 to on Tuesday mornings. I got meetings. I can't stay up. It's dumb. The NFL should not be starting games at 10 p.m. Eastern time. This is ridiculous. Okay. This is dumb. I don't want to stay up that late. I don't want to stay up at 1 or 2 in the morning watching football. I'm tired. So I watched the highlights this morning, so I did not watch the whole game. So I can't speak intelligently to this. I will say this. From what I saw and the highlights and what I've read, the Texans are a disaster. Their passing game is incredibly inconsistent. Nico Collins is awesome. We love him. He's a great player. But the Houston Texans just look lost right now, and they're very inconsistent. That's what it seems like. The Seattle passing game is pretty much it's all JSN and nothing else, which is awesome for those of us who own him in 2 of their 4 leagues. That's great. Sam Darnold looks fine. The Walker Charbonnet situation. I've been saying this all year. I just think there's going to go back and forth. We've seen that all season. It's like there's going to be a Walker game and a Charbonnet game, and a Walker game and a Charbonnet game. It looks like it's going to just go back and forth. My prediction was it's going to go back and forth all year. There's going to be weeks where Charbonnet is clearly the best guy, and there's going to be weeks where Walker is clearly the best guy, and there's going to be weeks where they're 50-50, and you just don't know which week's going to be which, and you just hope you're lucky that week. Like, that's kind of my thoughts, and I've been saying that pretty much since the summer. And so I think Walker is slightly more talented, but the coaching staff seems to slightly more favor Charbonnet, so it's hard to know what to do with that. So yeah, I think the only clear starter in my mind, and every week in week out on the Seattle team is JSN, and then Walker and Charbonnet are starters based on my lineup or situation, right? Depending on what I've got.
Yeah.
On the Texans side of things, Nico Collins, I guess, is an absolute starter because he's just so talented. But the inconsistency of this team raises a question. This is the time of year. I think this is the lesson learned from this. This is the time of year, and we've said this with several guys already tonight. We're reaching the point of the season where we have to now begin to ignore what we believed coming into the season. And we have to start making decisions purely based on what is actually happening right now. And Nico Collins, based on his career, has been awesome. He's a great player. And the Texans passing game has incredible ceiling based on what we've seen in the past. But based on what we've seen most recently, the last 4 or 5 weeks, this is not a passing game you can trust. And so Nico Collins is not a surefire starter in most formats, which is crazy to think. If you're in a 12-team PPR league, yes, he's a surefire starter. If you're in a 12-team standard league, you might have better options than Nico Collins right now. If you're in a 10-team PPR league, you might have better options than Nico Collins right now. If you're in a start 2 receiver league, you might have better options than Nico Collins right now. Like, as crazy as that sounds, Nico Collins, who is a fantastic talent, might not be an absolute stone cold starter for you right now, which I just can't believe a month ago I would never thought of saying that, but that's kind of where we're at. You have to disregard what the draft rankings were and what we thought coming into the year. And we have to begin to believe what we're seeing. And what we're seeing is this is an offense that's not as good as we thought they were going to be. CJ Stroud is not as good as we thought. They are inconsistent. However, they've got enough talent, and the coaching staff seems competent enough where in any given week they could go off, and so you feel this sense of obligation to start Nico Collins, which is not good. Like, it doesn't feel good like you have to start a guy, even though you look at the numbers and go, the numbers don't dictate that I have to start this guy, but I feel like I have to start him because of who he is.
Yeah, I get it. He's had some good games this year, like nothing truly amazing. Let me pull up his stats. Oh, where'd he go in the first place? Let's see. So he went 308.
It feels early.
So he had a 26, 14, 11, 16. I'll say this on the positive, he had his bye week already. Yeah. On the negative, he got concussed. So that doesn't matter because he's probably gonna miss this game anyway. So he's gonna be on that 1 game suspension that I talked about. So yeah, he's a tough player to draft right now, given that he's gonna miss the game. And you never know with concussions. Maybe he's gonna be off 2 games. So that's it's tough. I had a chance to draft him in the I almost had a chance to draft him in the 309. I don't think I would have taken him. I think I still would have gone with Kyren Williams. So yeah, I mean,
I just don't trust his offense. He's injured. He's going to be out a game or 2, maybe more. And I don't trust the offense is too inconsistent.
Yeah, I agree.
I will say this, by the way. I went to bed last night. I didn't stay up for that game. After the first game I was done, I went to bed. And I was down in our league. I was way down. I assumed I was going to lose. And little did I know that the Texans scored 25 fantasy points in our league. And I woke up to tie. I tied because of the Texans defense. Well done. I assumed, listen, I'm going to lose this game, whatever. I'll be 5-2. I'm fine with it. And I woke up and I was 5-1-1. So I guess that's better than me 5-2.
Darnold just gave that game away. He tried to give the game away, and the Texans wouldn't allow him to because they couldn't score.
So, I'm in second place overall in our league at 5-1-1, and yeah, I'm excited about that.
All right, nice. Well, that's great. Is Mateer 1 overall still a good bet? No, I think Dante Moore. Charlie mentioned him as the guy, so I was going to wait a little bit to bet it and make another bet. So I don't want to do like 2 in a row like that. But Charlie did say Dante Moore, but a lot can change right now. Last question we have here: trade Devontae and Gadsden for Otten or Otten. Okay. I see. Devontae and Gadsden or Otten for London. So
if it's Devontae and Otten, yes, for sure, definite.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I would do that.
Devontae and Gadsden probably, but not as definite, not as sure to me.
Yeah, and you're getting one more game with London too, so don't forget that.
That's pretty significant, actually.
Yeah, and Atlanta has a favorable playoff schedule, if I remember correctly. So, yeah, I would do that. Yeah. By the way, before we sign off, this draft is unreal. I think did Kate Otten go early? Kate Otten went 5th round. So they did not listen to your analysis. I actually think he gave it after that pick, but this guy's team, it took Stevenson, Charbonnet, Marks, Benson, Fields, McCarthy, Bryce Young, Tua, Rattler, Travion Henderson, Myers, Marquise Brown, Cup, Ridley, and his picks were made sense at the end, except for he took Tyreek Hill and Brandon Ayuk. So, pretty rough team for this guy. And like this other guy made some sketchy picks too. I think I took Omarion Hampton at 10:03, even though he's injured right now. I took Mike Evans. So this draft was very interesting. I hope it stands. Not that this is an amazing team, but it'll have a good chance to win just based on what happened. But I won't count on it standing. So, well, we'll have to draft another team then off there. So, all right. Any final thoughts before we head out?
No. Yeah, if you're on a long road trip, don't eat Burger King or take Dayquil. Apparently.
Yes, or if you do both, you're going to be in serious trouble. And visit thecapIsFake.com for tons of content on why the cap is fake. Yes, it is cap. It is very fake if you're watching for the first time. And Kenny has some really interesting articles in here, including why WNBA players are actually overpaid. So yeah, you can get all this and more here. Do you want to promote anything on the site, or do you want to head out?
Yeah, if you believe the salary cap is real, or if you believe WNBA players deserve more money, you are woefully wrong on both counts.
Mm-hmm.
Visit the website, thecapIsFake.com, and you'll find out. We also have some other content, other random things on there. Hope it's entertaining and insightful.
Yes, I recommend it. Check that out. Check out walterfootball.com as well. Tons of content every single day, and it's all free. So thank you guys for watching and commenting. Really appreciate it. Thanks especially to Kevin for the $10 super chat and Armac for the $19.99 super chat. Really appreciate it, guys. Thank you so much. But yeah, we're going to be back tomorrow with Andy Isco talking week 8 NFL picks against the spread. Eager to hear how Andy did in week 7. We think we had a lot of agreements, more so than usual last week. So I hope he did well. But yeah, we'll be back then. In the meantime, please hit like, subscribe, comment below, share this video, and visit the link in the description for the merch store. Kenny, glad to have you back after your road trip from hell. But yeah, glad to be on with you again. So all right, guys, have a great night, and I will talk to you tomorrow.